get the notification. This is when I do it.
The boozing barber.
Okay, what you like? Okay, I'm just gonna post.
Did you get it? Mine hasn't even started yet.
Oh, mine has on my phone. Right, let's Discord. Let's do Reddit.
Oh, you fucker. What are you doing, you motherfucker? Takes forever for me to do this on this fucking iMac.
How old is it again? 2008.
I don't know. It's ancient.
Sure, I made an episode.
I don't know what kind of face I'm making in this. It's not good.
Bloody okay. Start again. Hey Ash. Hey Warwick. How are you both?
It's the morning crew.
The morning boys. Were you at work last night, Ash? Have you been out enjoying the sun? I was having a very healthy breakfast of squares, which Dee has never seen before.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah, very
Squares.
tasty. Squares.
Ah, thanks, Warwick. He likes my tea.
He does.
I do miss the bush.
I want to kiss the man that invented crisps, the French man.
Was it a French thing? I never knew that.
The French invented crisps, and we invented the sandwich.
And the Americans perfected it?
You've ruined the sandwich.
No, but we perfected crisps, though, right?
Oh my god, Ash, what are you having from McDonald's? Whenever I get a McDonald's breakfast, which I haven't had in ages, all I ever do is get like 6 hash browns.
6 hash browns.
I love the hash browns from McDonald's. I just get like 6 of them. To be fair, whenever I get like oh hey Gino.
Hey, what's up, Gino?
Michael. Gino. Oh,
Gino. What's cracking?
Yeah, the hash browns from McDonald's are they're the bee's knees.
I haven't had that in a long time.
It's usually because when do they stop serving breakfast at McDonald's? 11?
Yeah, because I guess I'm probably not even awake.
I'm never awake to catch it.
All right, let me see here. Checkity, check. How do we sound? Do we sound good? We sounding good? Yeah. All right.
Hello, Ben.
Hey, did you get the pictures I sent you?
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even queue that up.
There's not that many.
Let me have a look to see if it's even there. Oh, balls! It's not even there.
Oh, it's not even there.
Wait, I just have to do this, and it'll be there. Yeah, it's there.
I had a video, but I'm not gonna play it.
Because the copyright, you can't be bothered.
But... Yeah, I'm worried about it because we'll get fucking pinged. You got to be careful with that on the YouTubes.
Oh my god, I didn't know McDonald's did flatbreads now.
Do they? Not here.
Yeah. Bacon in the morning, they do flatbreads.
I don't think they do that here. Maybe. All right.
Right-o. Lads.
We had a good news people who are on the Patreon. We're talking about kind of went in on it with Ted Nugent.
He upsets
He
you.
gets me riled. I fucking hate Ted Nugent.
Yeah, he upsets you.
Yeah, he ruffles my Jew feathers. I just fucking hate that guy. He's a fucking asshole. Gaslighting prick.
He is a
Fuck that
terrible
dude.
human being.
I wish COVID would have got him.
I would have liked him to have died of the COVID too.
Yeah, I think it would have been great.
D is always louder, but yeah, D is always louder because he has a mixer and an SRL mic.
Yeah,
I don't.
it's really weird because I think I'm louder here on YouTube, but then when we record, or when I edit it on Pro Tools, it's fine.
What? So do you have to edit my levels to match yours?
No.
No, they're just the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must just be a YouTube thing then. Sorry, everyone.
I think
I am jacked.
I think
up.
it amplifies me. That's why I don't want to turn myself down.
Yeah, well, don't. I've turned mine up a little.
I think maybe too. I'm like too close to it talking. So if I
Close.
talk over here, it's a little bit better.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
All right, love. You ready to go?
What? What, loves and darlings? Let's go.
Little bit of rumpy bumpy. The rabbi would say. No, I'm joking. I don't know if he said that. It would be amazing. It would be amazing if he did.
Say, why would you know how your dad asked for sex?
Did your parents ever do that? Like get randy sometimes?
No, my parents slept in separate rooms my entire life.
So fucking weird.
I never saw them hold hands, never saw them kiss, never saw them do anything. Saw them argue though.
Yeah, my parents did that too. But I just remember like my mom and dad. Like my dad wasn't very affectionate, but when he was, it was kind of awkward and weird and seemed sort of forced. But he would do stuff like, "Oh, you're looking so sexy tonight."
What to your mom?
And like, yeah, and like, and she'd be like, "Oh, leave me alone, Robert." But it would have been funny. I could see him being like, "Oh, I'm in the mood for rumpy bumpy."
Oh, it's happening tonight.
I think the funniest thing about my dad, and I remember quite fondly, is when he was angry and they got in a big argument, he would like smash things.
Would he?
Like, slam, like he would smash things, but he would like, if he was like cooking something, he would just like smack the bowl down really loud or like slam the cupboard shut, but then act like he was totally fine, but he wasn't fine.
Because he's slamming stuff. Okay.
Yeah, he's super angry. Like
you telling that story about the time your mum got you the period, and when he's really angry, he rubs his arms as well.
Oh yeah, no, that was when I thought, did I tell on this one? We were at a Greenfield Village, and it's like Henry Ford's museum. My dad was super stoked to see it. And we get there, my mom had like a really bad period, like right when we got there. And like, she had periods were really tough for her. And yeah, and she was wearing white pants. There's like a red mark. And so she didn't want to get up off the bench because she was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And my dad was just like, "I just paid for us to get here. We're going to see it." And he was like rubbing his arms and like running. And so me and my dad had like angrily walked through Greenfield Village while my sister was tending to my mom.
That's really sad.
He was so mad about it. Like he was cursing God for her getting a period.
Why now? Why when we're at Henry?
And like, I just remember being like, probably 13. So we just moved to
13.
this country, kind of being like, and he's like, "I don't know why she had to get it today. Why today? When I had tickets for Greenfield Village."
Because we can control it that way.
Yeah.
G'day, Ben. How's it hanging?
Hey. All right. We're gonna start. We're talking about a boozing barber today, who's also a murderer, but he's a barber.
As a side note, yeah.
He drank a lot. He killed people with alcohol. So we'll get to that. All right. You ready?
I am.
Good evening. Welcome to Sick and Wrong, the world source for antisocial commentary. I'm one of your hosts, E. Simon.
Actung, motherfuckers. It's me, Kate Rambo. Yes.
It's cracking, Kate Rambo.
Yeah, not much, mate. Had to go to town for the first time in over a year, and it was atrocious.
Is it because the pubs are open again, and so you're going to go get a pint of lager?
I wish. No, I finally had to do an errand that needed a real life person that I needed to get some shoes fixed. I had to take them to the cobblers. So
the cobblers.
The horse and buggy into town, and oh my god, I have never seen more ugly people, more cretins out, and I just thought this is where the COVID started.
Well, they've been locked down, so they're probably even more pastier than normal.
Oh no, it was just wall to wall uggos everywhere. I
Did
was like, I made a vow. I was like, I'm never coming back here.
so
This
you
is it.
stopped at the cobbler? Did you stop by the blacksmith?
I did, and
Get
then
some
I went and
smithing done?
bought some black sheep wool from the sheep wool seller.
Oh, that's good. Yes.
I
It's
went
like, well, typical English country
to the
town.
candlestick maker too. I went to him, so I'm all stocked up for like another winter of discontent.
Did you see the vicar?
No, I'm not that person.
I actually went to town too, but you don't have a car, so you had to like walk to town, right?
No, I told you I caught the horse and buggy.
Oh, you got the oh, okay. So you just hitchhiked, caught the horse and buggy, had to
I
give a
did.
hand job, but you got a free ride, so why not?
Yeah, I mean it's just what you do in the north.
It's the beauty of being a northern slag,
It
you
is.
know. Me, I drive my Prius, through Hollywood to go to the other side of town. But
No
no, I
one's
let
giving you a hand job in that Prius, let me tell
no,
you.
no one's giving me a hand job in the Prius. I wish, but no. Um, no, so I went over last night to Highland Park and was hanging out with some friends. And like bars are open again, things are open. And so when I was driving back, I had to drive through Hollywood. And like I mean, it was weird because you know the best thing about COVID and why I don't want to say there's anything great about COVID because it's fucking sucked. But the one thing that was actually kind of like a good thing about COVID is that there was no traffic. And that's what sucks about LA because there's so many people here. It's the most populous city in the state, one of the most populous cities probably in the country, and there's just so many people, and so traffic. It's like worse than what you can imagine. I mean, this is bad as London, just like terrible traffic. And so it's been like during COVID, you can be like, sweet, I can get across town in like 10 minutes, it's fine. So I was driving back like through Hollywood today, and I was just mired in traffic. That's not like standstill traffic, not even moving. And then you get to like, you got to get creative and you go on ways, you start cutting down city streets and like cruising up Sunset, but Hollywood block, Franklin block, Sunset block. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And there's like helicopters around. And I was just like, there's something going on. Like it's like a Saturday, you're in Hollywood. They do a lot of like parades and festivals and things. And there were just like an inordinate amount of Armenian men, like in tank
Okay.
tops with like Armenian flags draped over their cars, like playing like hip hop music and cruising around or just walking on the streets, draped in flags, drinking. And I'm like, there's like an Armenian thing going on. There's something, the Armenians are up to something. I don't know what it is.
They're
They're doing
usually
something.
up to no good.
Well, it was a big thing because, like, Sunset, Hollywood, Franklin block, Santa Monica block. So I was like stuck in traffic trying to figure out what was going on. There's like helicopters and like cops blocking off roads and things like that. And then I looked in the news when I finally made it back. It took me like over an hour to get like from Hollywood to West Hollywood. It fucking sucked. I get back, I read the news. Biden officially declared Armenian genocide is officially a genocide.
Okay. So did
First
they get
president to do that.
I think they've been going back. Even Clinton was supposed to have done it, wasn't he?
Yeah, but no president would
Obviously
officially
has.
declare it because they're worried about diplomatic ties with Ankara, Turkey.
So
Yeah.
what does that mean? Do they get a special day?
Well, I guess it's the 106th anniversary of the massacre's start. And so Biden said each year on this day, we remember the lives of all those who died in the Ottoman era Armenian genocide. He's the first president to say genocide and recommit ourselves to preventing such an atrocity from ever again occurring. And so I was reading this and I was just like, you know what? My people own the genocide term. Okay. Quit
Oh, are
trying to take genocide away from us.
you're just gonna pull that card, are you? You're gonna pull the Jew card.
I'm pulling the Jew card because we had the worst genocide. All right. So when they start saying like everybody's got a genocide, our genocide is downplayed.
Yeah, you don't want to be like we had the best genocide.
We did have the
Okay.
best genocide.
You didn't invent that though. You know the British actually invented the Holocaust.
Well, so they did, but I'm just saying we had the highest death count, 6
Oh,
million.
okay.
Okay.
Right. So what every year are you guys out on the street drinking for your 6 million fallen bros playing hip hop from your
Well,
supercars?
I mean, there should be like, like people should have to watch Fiddler on the Roof one day and everybody has to watch it and they have to like
Showa.
eat matzo ball soup or something, or Showa. Yeah. Like you got to sit through Showa.
9 hours.
Everybody has to sit through Shoah and watch it one day a year and eat matzo ball soup and drink Manischewitz wine and just remember who had the real genocide. All right.
Real
I'm not trying to
genocide.
say Armenians didn't have a genocide. You know, you guys, I don't know what, 1.8 million or something like that. That's significant. That's a lot of people that died. You know, I'm not saying, but
That
it's not 6
is.
million.
Okay.
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 I'm just
Give up
saying,
your
you know,
genocide horse.
well,
It was all
people say
starting
like,
off so nice. You're making this so dark.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, people are like, well, what about the killing fields? Okay, yeah, sure. That was a bad genocide. You know, I
Oh,
think like
very
you had
bad.
probably like maybe 3 million or something, not six,
There's a
two
lot more
times
torture,
as
I would
many.
say, going on in the killing fields. It was a lot more disorganized.
Yeah, well, okay, or they're like, well, what about Rwanda? You know, Rwanda, there's a genocide there, 800,000,
Have
not
you gone
six
through and
million.
looked up to compare how many people compared to so you can play the Jew top trump?
I'm just saying we had the master genocide. The main genocide, like the Super Bowl of genocides, was my people, you know, and we're not sitting there
The
blocking off fucking
Super
Hollywood
Bowl.
Boulevard and fucking Sunset, you know, and having
Well, you don't have
helicopters fly
to
around.
because you own that town. That's why you don't have to do anything like that because
Well,
you
that's what I'm
own
saying.
Hollywood.
I think there should be you know, though there is a Holocaust Remembrance Day. I'm just saying Holocaust Remembrance Day should be a day where everyone's you know, takes the day off, they watch Shoah, they do Jewy things,
I
you
agree
know,
with this. I
and you
definitely
reflect
agree.
upon a real fucking genocide,
I definitely agree with the
you know?
watching of Shoah. Once a year, everyone should watch all
Yeah,
nine
but you're
hours of
not allowed to
Shoah.
masturbate like you do when you watch it.
Oh, well, I'm not doing it then.
You know, the death toll of the Armenian genocide has been in dispute.
Okay.
Like they say, you know, estimates range from 300,000 to 2 million deaths between 1914 and 1923, with not all the victims in the Ottoman Empire, but most estimates, including one of 800,000 between 1950 and 1918, made by the Ottoman authorities themselves, fall between 600,000 and 1.5 million. It's not 6 million, but it's significant. And it
No,
is a
that's
genocide. 1.5 million people being murdered, slaughtered would be a genocide. So it amazes me that like Obama shied away from it and Trump shied away from it. I can understand why Trump did because Trump is kind of like, you know, the autocrat dictator types. He kind of gravitated towards them, like they're my bros. I'm surprised Obama wasn't just like, no, it's a genocide.
yeah, and Clinton too, because he was all about
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Yeah, well, you know what? Good for these guys. I hope every day they have a lovely, they eat some Armenian food. I'm trying to think of what's an Armenian staple food.
And I mean, they do like
It's like
Armenian, Lebanese, like
Turkish, isn't it?
hummus and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like kind of Turkish food.
love
Great
all
food
that.
actually. There's a
Yeah,
one of my favorite restaurants is an Armenian restaurant called Carousel here. It's one of the best.
labna.
Labna's Armenian. Yeah, it's
Labna's
amazing. Amazing food.
delicious.
So
Hmm.
while the death toll is in dispute about what happened, photographs from the era document some of the mass killings. They show Ottoman soldiers posing with severed heads, others with them standing on amid skulls in the dirt. The victims are reported to have died in mass burnings, by drowning, torture, gas, poison, disease, starvation. Children were loaded into boats, taken out to sea, chucked overboard.
I agree with that.
If if that, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like if that's not genocide, then what's a genocide?
I just think that the children thing is good thinking. The world is overpopulated. Get rid of them.
So the Turkish presidency communications director said the Biden administration's decision to misportray history out with an eye on domestic political calculations is a true misfortune for Turkey-U.S. relations.
Uh-oh. Is he
Yeah,
putting his little foot down? Is he chucking the toys out of the pram a bit?
he's a he's bitters. There's
It
some
sounds,
bitters going on
yes,
there.
he's definitely drinking some
Um,
bitter tears.
the government of Turkey often registers complaints when foreign governments describe the event as a genocide. Who to who? The UN? Like who do they
It must
complain
be.
to?
Yeah, it must be just to their mum on the phone. You'll never believe what he did next, mum. I'm gonna leave him. This time, mum, it's it. I'm leaving him.
Well, I just like how they're whining about like other countries being like, yeah, your mass slaughter of children and people, and you know, pictures of you standing on people's skulls, genocide.
That sounds, every time you say that, I just think that sounds so cool.
It is kind of cool. I
It
mean,
is gnarly,
you know,
totally.
but they're partying. They were partying, boozing it up in the streets. It's like festival time in Hollywood today. A lot of Armenians live here, so I mean, it was
Yeah.
definitely Definitely a lot of boozing.
Good for
Now, were
them.
they boozing and killing?
Oh.
It's a good segue, wasn't it? I was trying to figure out how
Yeah,
I was going to do that.
every week I'm impressed with your smart segues.
That was off the cuff too. I didn't even plan that one. Just straight off the
Is
cuff.
that because
Improv,
your big Jew brain?
maybe. I don't know. Um, Gilbert Paul Jordan. That's who we're talking about today. He's a serial killer from 70s, 80s. Um, they nicknamed him the Boozing Barber. There he is. There he is, Boozing Barber. Look at that hair. Looks like an alcoholic.
It's a very like Red Foreman from that 70s show, like kind of look overall. Like could be related to Red Foreman.
And those glasses, those are serial killer glasses straight up. I don't know who would wear glasses like that. Like
I have a very
crazy.
similar pair too.
But this guy was the first and one of the only serial killers to murder his victims with alcohol, vodka mostly. But yeah, I mean, he finished off his victims by pouring straight vodka down their throats intentionally, giving them alcohol poisoning. He's on the record, 9 women, but possibly dozens more.
Do you know what? There's so many like 18, 19-year-olds that go out to like Shagaloof and all those places that just lie on the bars getting shots poured down their throat. But I'm pretty sure that they weren't expecting what he did.
No, I mean the fact that he was like murdering people with vodka is I mean it's very unique
You know, it's
in
the
terms
shittest
of
vodka
serial
as
killer
well.
methods.
You
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's not like Finlandia or anything good like that. It's not primo grade.
it's like New Amsterdam and shit like that.
It's Glen's vodka here,
Yeah.
mate. You're getting Tesco value slash Glen's vodka. That's what you're getting.
So guess where he's from?
Where is this man from?
Canada. Not surprised.
What
They
do you
drink a
mean,
lot
not
in Canada. They
surprised?
drink a lot in Canada.
Yes, but they're so polite. They don't want to kill
I'm not,
people.
yeah, and then the killing isn't typical of Canada. Well, there's a few serial
To be
killers from
fair,
Canada,
this is
but the
quite a
drinking.
polite way to kill because you're kind of like just putting someone to sleep. It's not like you're chopping their head off in a bus.
Well, we'll get into the details of his grisly MO. I don't know how polite it is, but the boozing barber over here, his most of his murders occurred between 1965 and 1988 in Vancouver. But at the time, a lot of people didn't even weren't even aware of the murders, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, a lot of his victims were Indigenous women, and so oftentimes the
Okay.
murders weren't even reported. He wasn't even arrested because it's like they're not real people, you
Well,
know?
Canada definitely has an issue, like the Highway of Tears, and definitely has an
Yeah,
issue with the
definitely an
Indigenous
issue.
women and Indigenous people to Canada in general.
But also, I mean, it's not like there's a body, with like, a head decapitated and blood spread all over a hotel room. It's like, it's a body that looked like someone who died from alcohol abuse, alcohol poisoning. You wouldn't suspect that someone was doing it intentionally to murder them.
Of
I mean, it's a
course.
very unsuspecting like method of serial killing
It's
in
quite
a sense.
clever in a lot of ways.
So Gilbert Paul Jordan killed between 8 and 10 women between 1965 and 1988. Um, he also was a barber, which is why they nicknamed him the Boozing Barber. I would never get my hair cut from this guy. He was probably wasted.
I was gonna say because he's too drunk to cut it
Yeah, like
properly.
um, born in Vancouver, December 12th, 1931. Gilbert was an alcoholic and high school dropout by the age of 16.
Big
That's
brains.
impressive. No, I mean, yeah, big brains there, but also like I drank a lot in high school, but alcoholic by 16, he had the
So,
G for
s-
sure.
so Canada's like America then, because you can leave school at 16 in the UK, and you can either
Not
go and
here.
work
Here
or
it's 18.
yeah, okay. So it
Um,
must be the same in Canada then.
by 21, he had a huge record here already of convicted of theft, assault, car theft, possession of heroin, not yet murder, but soon enough. Um, Rape, abduction, drunk driving. During one of his many incarcerations, he learned the barber's trade. So while he was in prison, he learned how to be a barber. And he opened the Slocan Barber Shop in Vancouver's downtown east side, which is a notorious area. very reminiscent of the Tenderloin. That's pretty much where prostitutes, drugs, homeless people, and it's still to this day like this. I was looking at a video on YouTube where it just showed someone just following, just walking through with like a GoPro camera, and you're just like, oh, that's the Tenderloin, pretty much.
I've always
Homeless
wanted to
people,
go,
drug addicts.
yeah, to Vancouver. It's really sleazy in parts. I'd love to go. Have you ever been?
Yeah, I've never been. I've been to Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, but I've never actually been to the west side of Canada.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Vancouver and Vancouver Island.
Yeah, I've always wanted to check it out too. So he inherited a small sum of money and he invested in the stocks. He played the stock
Oh,
market. He made
that
a
is
lot of money.
what? I was not expecting that little curveball.
Oh no, I
What?
was reading this and I was just like, I love how a serial killer is better at picking stocks than I am.
Yeah.
You think it'd be in my blood. It's not. I suck at it. But yeah, he made enough to open up a barber shop and keep him absolutely pickled in alcohol. You know, and to afford a good lawyer that got him out of many a jams. So between jail sentences, his barber shop here is located in the heart of Vancouver's downtown east side, and he was a regular fixture in the seedy bar scene. He blended in easily, especially with those glasses, um, and wasn't intimidating. He's kind of short, stocky, balding. Um, he reportedly drank a 50-ounce bottle of vodka per day. Yeah, which I
that's
was trying to think, like, how much is that? Is that like a
that's
pint?
that's 50 shots a day, isn't it? At the
50
least.
ounces? 1 ounce in a shot?
Oh my
I
god,
look
can
that
we
up.
not get why can't you guys just get on our metric system? It's so annoying. Let's say that 50 ounces is what, a liter? I'm gonna go with a liter.
A liter would be 1,000 milliliters.
Uh,
750 milliliters is a fifth.
okay. So 50 ounces like a liter and a half.
I have no fucking clue.
It's 50 shots
But
of vodka.
he drank a lot of fucking vodka, right? He was an
Yeah.
alcoholic by the age of 16. I think it's safe to assume that. In addition to the alcohol, he was addicted to drunk sex. Who isn't?
Who isn't?
Um,
Drunk sex is the better sex.
his targets were mostly First Nations women from Vancouver's downtown east side. First Nations are a group of Canadian Indigenous people who are classified as like Inuits and Métis. It is staggering though how many Indigenous women continue to disappear and die to this day.
And yeah, and Canada just doesn't acknowledge. But I mean, all that stuff with their indigenous was kicking off with the last few years. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
it's a problem that won't be solved for a
well, it's
long
been a
time.
problem since like 1915. There,
Well,
it's
yeah, the
yeah.
Highway of Tears. They say that there's been murders on that since the 80s, and there's still nobody's doing anything about it.
I read some
Whatever.
stats for murder and missing Indigenous women over the last 30 years. 133 disappear murdered a year, which is like 3 a week.
That is craziness. Can you
That's a
imagine if
lot.
that was free blonde white women disappearing a week?
I don't think that would
Something
happen.
something could
Something,
be
yeah.
done. Yeah.
So his targets were these First Nation women who were mostly prostitutes. He'd find them in bars, he'd buy them drinks, or he'd pay them for sex and invite them to drink with him, either in a hotel or back at his barber shop. He was a well-known mark. He bought many vulnerable Aboriginal women drinks. They'd party till they both passed out. And it's estimated that hundreds of women who were binge drinking with Jordan went missing, possibly murdered. It was between 1980 to 1987. But they say, he'd been killing since like possibly the 60s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, I need a history of it. 1961, there's a timeline of the boozing barber's crimes. 1961, he was found with a 5-year-old First Nations girl in his car. He was charged with abduction, but never convicted. 5-year-old.
Oh, so it's okay to take 5-year-old little girls. What is he
It's a
gonna
30-year-old man driving around with a 5-year-old girl. That's
that
not
he's
his.
kidnapped and he's gonna get 5 years. Do you know what? Sometimes like Britain takes the piss with its sentences, but that takes the piss.
Later in the year, 1961, he held up traffic by threatening to jump off the Lionsgate Bridge in a drunken stupor.
Oh, we've all been there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go, you might as well make a scene.
Oh yeah.
He was held in contempt of court for doing a Nazi salute at the judge.
This me in car.
1963, he lured two women into his car, raped them, and stole their possessions, but was convicted of theft, acquitted of rape.
But this
Indigenous women.
this guy's lawyer is fantastic. Do you think he was Jewish like you?
Possibly, I don't know. Well, I don't think it'd be that difficult because most of his victims were indigenous women, and no one really cared
I mean, they're also
at the
like on
time.
Skid Row too. Like, yeah, it's bad.
1965, a woman by the name of Ivy Rose, local prostitute, went drinking with Gilbert. Her nude body was later found in a Vancouver hotel with a blood alcohol content of 0.51. That's 6 times higher than the legal driving limit, almost
Okay.
double what experts call the danger zone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, where you can die of alcohol poisoning. So, you know, there were no charges laid in the death. They said it was just accidental, accidental alcohol overdose. But I was thinking, like, what are they drinking? Like
But
Everclear vodka or something?
it does happen though, because think about it. Because like Amy Winehouse died because she drank like a whole bottle of vodka after being dry for a certain amount of time. So there's certainly times where I've been like, oh, I don't drink for 2 weeks, and then I go and get hammered, and I probably get into that danger zone, and you just don't
Yeah.
even know about it because it's
And also,
everyone
I mean, there's
drinks,
variables like I'm drinking on an empty stomach,
of course. Yeah.
Majority of his victims were intravenous drug users, many having like a lethal toxin level already amplified with mixed use of ethanol. Ethanol is sometimes called grain alcohol because it's the main type of alcohol produced by grain fermentation. So, like beer, vodka. I think wine is considered, yeah, wine would be considered ethanol as well.
Buckfast.
Um, Overdose deaths from ethanol consumption alone are kind of rare because usually
Oh,
heavy drinkers reach a blood ethanol limit where they pass out long before it like shuts down your central nervous system.
I see.
You know, um, most often the deaths are caused by aspirating on vomit, which is pretty much what
Like
what
Bon
the
Scott.
cause of death for so many rock and roll drummers. I don't know how many Spinal Tap drummers died from choking on their own vomit,
Oh,
but
was it at least 10?
yeah,
8.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
So you'd aspirate in your vomit before reaching a lethal BEC, blood ethanol content. So a BEC of 0.35%, 35 milligrams of ethanol per 100 milliliters of blood, is considered the start of the lethal range.
Well,
And so
that's
note
what
that
Amy Winehouse had. She had
she was
350 milligrams.
0.35. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So she was right there. So the standard for drunk driving, at least in this country, and I'm assuming Canada, is 0.08%.
Oh, you blew. That's like tiny when you say those two numbers next to each other,
But
isn't
that's like
it?
4 times the amount of legal limit.
No,
What?
that's mental.
Well, you guys, I mean, you guys have very strict drunk driving laws, don't you?
Yeah, even in Scotland, you can't drink anything and drive in Scotland.
I mean, do people is it rare for people to drink and drive there?
It is rare, and you're also thought of as like an absolute dumb if you do it. People just
Well, it
like
is
not
dumb to
impressed with
do.
it. It is a dumb thing to do, and plus things are a bit different over here compared to America. Our public transport is like usually a lot better than what you guys offer, and there's always like
Yeah.
taxis or
So there's no
Ubers.
reason to. I mean, in this day and
Yes,
age, it's like take a fucking Lyft. I mean, yeah, sure, it'll cost you $30, but it's a lot better than $5,000 in a night in jail.
or possibly killing
Um,
yourself or someone.
Chances of that are probably slim, but still, it can happen.
It happens.
Um, Ethanol is metabolized by the liver at a rate of about 50 milliliters per 90 minutes. So that's like 2 beers or 1 9-ounce glass of wine every hour and a half.
Okay,
So drink more than you can absorb and you'll get drunk. Wake up still drunk and you're hungover.
that
So that's
happens.
kind of the way it works. So the boozing barber here, Gilbert, in 1969 was charged with drunk driving twice in the same day. I don't know. I don't know if it was the same cop, but that's an impressive stat. 2 times this guy
Was
was pulled over for drinking and driving.
do you think he was
How does that
driving?
happen?
He was driving like B.A. Baracus, wasn't he? Like,
Just well, I mean, but seriously, like usually when you're drinking and driving, you get arrested and you're in jail. So this guy got arrested, and then they released him. He went straight back to the bar and got arrested again.
It must have been just a nice Canadian cop who was like, "I'm just gonna tell you off now, eh?" And then he just went straight back out.
Now, don't go do it again, okay?
I do
Hey,
apologize to all Canadians for what I just massacred your accent.
that sounds good to
Seriously.
me. But yeah, like I mean, what the hell? The guy's like drinking, driving twice in the same day. This guy's superpower is alcohol.
And fueled by it too.
Yeah. 1971, he was charged with committing an indecent act in a public place, but the charges were dropped.
We all know what that
Um,
is.
yeah,
He was
1970,
helicoptering his dick.
probably meat spin. In 1973, in Mackenzie, British Columbia, convicted of indecent exposure.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy's just an all around good Samaritan here, you know, stand up fella. In 1974, there's an attempt by prosecutors to have him be charged as a dangerous offender, but with the help from his lawyer, I mean, he had a really good lawyer.
He
The
does.
request was denied. 1975, he abducted a woman from a mental institution,
What?
which is kind of crazy too. He must have been wasted. Just when he was just like, I need to get laid. So he's like, where am I going to find a girl? And he just happened to be driving by a nut house. He's like, I'm
Dude,
just going to go get one.
no, houses are always on the outskirts of the city as well. So what? He drove up to Arkham Asylum and just like picked up whoever was hanging up outside.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he dress up as an orderly, wrap her in a straitjacket, wheel
That
her out? I don't know how it worked.
that would be a good film. I would say it'd be a high comedy.
Well, he found himself in the courtroom once again. This time he faced charges of kidnapping, and I'm using the official wording here of the charge, sexual intercourse with a feeble-minded person, which is like Kate's last three
I
relationships.
damn it! That's the joke I was gonna say.
I knew it. Had to get it. Stay on top of that one. But yeah, yes, I
I'm
love how
so
that's a charge.
obvious. Yeah, feeble-minded. They would never say that today, would they? They would say
No.
LP. Mhm.
He was sentenced to 26 months in the slammer for that one. So now, like at this point, he wasn't really convicted of murders from like 75 or even convicted of that many crimes from like 75 to 87. And if they were, they weren't like, that notable. But 19, and, quite possibly he was probably murdering hundreds of women and just it was never reported. But
Yeah.
fast forward to October 12th, 1987. There's a woman named Vanessa Lee Buckner. She was found naked on the floor of the Niagara Hotel after
Oh.
a night of drinking heavily with Gilbert. Now, there's some debate about this victim. Some say that she was a white woman, not that much of a heavy drinker, nor was she a sex worker. However, other people describe her as a prostitute, a alcoholic, and a sex worker, and a heavy drinker. So official court records describe her death as a result of Jordan supplying a lethal amount of liquor to a female alcoholic who died as a result. She had recently lost custody of her newborn baby, who had been born with a drug dependency.
There you
I'm
go.
thinking she was probably a heavy drinker.
I'm thinking that.
Maybe it's just me, but
I'm also thinking she might be a prostitute because my first thought is like, yeah, we've all done it when we've been at the bar, we're getting drunk, you hook up with someone, and like you'll go back and have drinks with them, possibly leads to more, possibly doesn't. But you're not doing that. You're not going back to like a Skid Row motel with a guy, are you? Unless
you're not giving birth to babies who are like, coming out with a
you were
heroin
Jones
addiction.
in, you have
Yeah.
water on the brain. Yeah.
She was an alcoholic and a taker of various kinds of drugs. His fingerprints were found in a bottle and thus linked to Buckner's death. It was a bottle of Dr. McGillicuddy's menthol mint liquor. Have you ever had that?
What menthol mint liquor? Like what is it? Like a
Liqueur.
schnapps?
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's what Phil Spector used to drink. He used to drink a mint
Really?
schnapps. Yeah,
Dr.
that's.
McGillicuddy's?
I think he was probably on a higher brand than that, but that he would drink
Yeah.
a bottle of that a day. Phil Spector was an alcoholic too.
This shit will fuck you up. It's gonna. I mean, I don't know what did proof is schnapps.
I don't know, but like schnapps to me is something that you'll
Awful.
have a shot of. It's
I wouldn't
not
even have a
something
shot
that
of
you
it. It's
drink of.
awful.
One of the ones the girls all drink Archers over here. That's like a peach schnapps. They all have Archers.
Archers.
An
But is that like a drink
lemonade.
But is that a drink you drink like when you're in high school?
Yeah, it's kind of like a girly drink that you'll have, like, or Malibu. It's like one of those kind of groups of
Malibu.
family.
Oh, been drunk off of that, but I've been drunk off of that because there's just nothing else at this girl I was dating. I remember her parents just had like a bottle of Malibu, and it's just like, fuck, I guess that's what we have to drink.
I
Because
don't
when
mind a
you're that
Malibu.
young, you have no choice.
Yeah, from time to time, I don't mind a Malibu, but it's not something I'm gonna be like, I'm getting wrecked on Malibu tonight, lads. Look at me. It's not that.
So a month after Buckner's death, another woman named Edna Shade. I love that name, Edna Shade.
Yeah.
She was found dead in another hotel, same circumstance.
Oh wow, he's plowing through them now.
It's suspicious though. And so at this point, that's when the RCMP started looking at Gilbert Paul Jordan,
Mhm.
started surveilling him. They followed his movements. And between October 12th and November 26th, 1987, they watched him search out First Nations women in Vancouver's East Side. And on four occasions, there it is. That's his hunting grounds. I like that. Like, what's that place called? Adult XXX.
Yeah, good times. Good
That's
times to
it's,
be had in there.
yeah, but they don't even try to like, mask the name of the store. It's just like, yeah, we just sell porn, okay? You might as well just call it like porn shop. Um, but yeah, so they on four occasions had to rescue women who were in his company.
Four.
Come on, Mounties. Why not lock
Yeah.
this guy up?
Wow.
He's obviously a menace,
To
you know?
society.
Um, More alcohol fueled deaths. Rosemary Wilson, November 20th, 1987, found with a blood alcohol content of 0.52.
Oh my word.
Verna Chartrand, November 21st, blood alcohol content of 0.43. Sheila Joe, definitely a prostitute's name. Um, Her blood alcohol content actually wasn't recorded. And Mabel Olson, November 26th, 0.57.
The way I'm thinking about it, so it's kind of like it equals to kind of one shot of vodka. So if you think about it, they're drinking like 50 shots of vodka in 3, 4 hours, if that, maybe 2 hours.
I
That's like,
mean, probably, yeah, like probably two, fifths of vodka. So I looked this up. The average symptomatic presentations of ethanol poisoning in
okay.
relation to BEC. So when you're like, most people are like between 0.02, 0.07%. That's when you get like, you're intoxicated. You're not wasted. I mean, you're drunk, but you got the euphoric feeling. You're having a good time, smoking cigarettes, probably can still get your dick hard. You can party. Once you get to 0.08, can't you probably shouldn't be driving at this point, but you can still party. But 0.08 to 0.19, that's when you start having ataxia, loss of body control. You might be
Yeah.
able, you're probably falling over, you're stumbling, poor judgment. Uh
Yeah. Definitely get that.
yeah. 0.20 to 0.29% advanced ataxia. That's when you're actually shitting yourself. That's when you're like pissing your pants.
No, no, I've pissed my pants once when drunk, but I've never shit myself. That's just your problem. You
That's probably
suffer with
you don't
that.
remember that, but yes. Um, your pants remember it. Extremely poor judgment and nausea at that stage. 0.30 to 0.35% stage one anesthesia, memory collapse, 0.35 to 0.39% comatose, and 0.40 and above respiratory failure and sudden death. Most of these women were over zero point 0.4.
Obviously, yeah.
So it makes me wonder, like, how do you get a woman to drink that much? Like, what's his technique? Like, how do you do it? Like, don't you your limit? Like, if some dude's just sitting there like shot, 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 would you be like, yeah, this creep is probably going to try to like date rape me?
I would just come to the point where wouldn't you be vomiting everywhere as well?
But I think I would just be like, I'm probably not going to do this. I don't want to like shit myself in front of you.
But
But
yeah,
I
but
just know that I'm not going to keep doing shots of bourbon because I'm going to be or whatever shots of Jaeger. I know it's
yeah,
no,
but
I'm not.
he's bringing back other women from Skid Row who are alcoholics. So he can easily entice them by being like, have some more, have some more. Go on, honey. Who knows when your next thrill might be? So I
All
can
right.
see
Well, K Rambo, let's paint the scene here. Let's
what
say you're in
what
a dive bar. Vancouver's downtown east side.
Oh, I love it already.
A swarthy gentleman comes in
Ooh.
wearing glasses much like mine.
Mm,
He's balding a bit, but
mm.
whatever, you're drunk. And he said, "Hey, have a drink. Down the hatch, baby. $20 if you drink it right down.
$20. Sure.
Let's see if you're a real woman. Finish that drink. Finish that drink. Come on. You need another drink. I'll give you $50 if you
50.
can
I'd be like,
take
I
it."
want to see this money right now. Yes, I'll
Hey,
do
he
it.
brought it out. I mean, he had a lot of cash. I mean, he played the stock market, owned a barber shop. He said, "I'll give you 10, 20, $50, whatever you want. Come on. I want to see you get it all down. You can get it down.
I can for 50.
I'll give you $50. I told you, if you finish that bottle, I'll give you $75 right now."
Oh, okay. That's asking too much.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that would probably work on me.
I can't finish. Well, yes, of course it would. I can't finish a whole bottle of vodka.
But
For,
I mean, keep in
not
mind
nowadays.
these women are skid row prostitutes.
They
I'm
are.
sure they're alcoholics, drug users. They have a susceptibility to this. So it's like not only that, you're getting some guys like, "I'll give you $100. Let's just finish off this bottle." And he's drinking with them. Obviously, he has a higher tolerance. He's been drinking since he's been like, I don't know, 10. Um, so police arrested Gilbert as he was poisoning a woman one time. They walked in a residential hotel and they found him poisoning a woman. When they entered the room, the woman was unconscious. Gilbert was on top of her, forcing vodka down her throat. She was passed out. He was pouring vodka down her throat,
How's she not
raping her.
at the same time? How is it?
Yeah.
How is right? Number one, how is she not drowning? How is he not? It must have been. I'm trying to think how she can't have been flat on her back. Let's just put it like that.
I don't know.
Maybe in a
Maybe
chair or something. But I mean,
could have been doggy style.
he's still sober enough that he can get a boner.
Well, I think this guy's got a hell of a tolerance.
He obviously does. Oh,
Probably wasn't wearing a condom.
what a terrible death! Being raped and forced to drink Glen's vodka as you die.
At his trial, Gilbert was quoted as saying, they're on their last legs. I didn't give a damn who I was with. I mean, we're all dying sooner or later." Very eloquent.
Okay,
You know?
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, memento mori here.
Yeah,
It's like
obviously
we
cares
all
about
got to
his
be aware
murder.
of our deaths.
Wow.
During the trial, the Crown presented evidence that Gilbert was also connected to 6 other women at the time of their death. So there's Mary Johnson. She had a blood alcohol level of 0.34. Barber Paul, 0.41. Mary Johns, 0.76.
Oh my word.
Found nude in his barber shop.
Goodness.
I mean, it's crazy to me that the Mounties weren't aware of like, okay, we've had 5 women who drank themselves to death naked in this guy's barber shop. Something is amiss here.
Yeah, if I was like a poutine eating cop and I went into a barber shop and there's a naked woman in there dead, I would be a bit like, well, I can understand she drank herself to death, but why the fuck is she naked, mate?
With a BEC though of 0.79,
Yeah, that's mental. That's like,
that's not drinking yourself. That's like leaving Las Vegas. You ever see that with Nick Cage?
I love that film. It's
Yeah.
heartwarming. It's a family classic. It's perfect for a rainy Sunday afternoon.
Patricia Andrew found 1985 blood alcohol level 0.79.
Oh, he definitely was forcing that booze down their throat.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Impressive stats. I mean, I wonder if he withdrew blood as a token, took it back home to his lab and measured the alcohol level and had it like all arranged.
Oh, that would be, see, if this was to be a film, that could be like a little B story about him, that he was also an amateur scientist. He had these little vials.
They're like Dexter. Like, everyone like to keep a
Yes.
little, they all like to keep a souvenir. So I wonder for him, it's like, let's see how drunk I can get this woman.
And that, yeah, try and get it into the 900s. Maybe that was his ultimate goal.
I mean, he paid them to drink with him. He offered them money if they could chug a bottle or 2 of alcohol. When they passed out, he continued to pour liquor down their throats and rape them as they died.
So he's a necrophiliac.
Oh, he doesn't like to drink alone.
He definitely doesn't.
Yeah. Vanessa Lee Buckner's father said of Gilbert, he poisons them first, then has sex with them. No parent should have to go through this. He's a worm. He's a low life. He should be squashed just like he squashed a lot of girls' lives. Well, I don't know how great of a father you were. I mean, your daughter was a Skid Row prostitute.
And that is also true. But they don't deserve to die in this manner, do they?
No, but I'm just saying, I think the father could have been maybe a little more present in his daughter's life so she didn't end up on the streets of Vancouver's downtown east side.
That's true. Yeah.
And she might not have met Gilbert, the alcohol murderer.
The boozy barber, D. It's his nickname.
He was found guilty of manslaughter in the death of Vanessa Lee Buckner. Not, first degree homicide. It was manslaughter, which is interesting. But he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for that. I mean, she was a white woman. So,
Hmm.
you will go to prison for murdering white women. But that was reduced to 9 years on appeal, and he only served 6.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So after 6 years in prison, he was released, and it wasn't too long after that, then he was in trouble again. June 2000, he was charged with sexual assault and negligence causing bodily harm and possession of a noxious substance,
Oh, was
alcohol.
he? Oh, was it? As I say, was he moving into like, chloroform territory next?
Well, it was around this time that he changed his name to Paul Pierce.
Okay. Yeah, to try
Yeah,
and cover his tracks. Because would his face, like a long skid row now, would everyone not just be talking amongst themselves and be
he
like,
was a known
yeah,
mark. Yeah.
yeah, don't go with this fella because you're going to die? Would it not be like that?
Or some of them be like, who's got the best booze? He'll pay you $75 to chug a bottle of vodka.
Chug it, chug it. Instantly
Um,
like that.
I'm surprised he didn't choose like a more, obscure literary reference type of name, like Henry Chinaski.
That would have been
That would
good.
have
I
been a good
agree.
one.
Yeah. Or like
Bukowski's alter ego.
or Ernie Hemingway.
Yeah, like there's better names I think you could go with. Jack Torrance, something, famous drunks.
Yeah, just go with lots of them.
At the time, fingerprinting and criminal records checks were not required in British Columbia to have your name changed. So, but the law changed, I guess, while he was in the process. So he had to drop the application
What a shame.
because he didn't want to get caught.
Oh, do you know what his initials would have been if he became Paul Pierce? I just figured it out. His initials would have been PP.
Some A-list humor there.
You don't want to be with a PP, do you?
In 2002, Gilbert was arrested, breach of probation for drinking and being in the presence of a woman while in possession of alcohol. He had a pretty
Oh,
probation terms.
I'm surprised was his probation not basically stay out of Skid Row?
You think it's like you can't drink anymore and you're not allowed, within 30 feet of a prostitute.
They would put him in a halfway house and put a leg, an ankle monitor on him and track his movements. Why aren't they doing this? Do you know why? It's because they're too busy eating poutine. That's why.
Drinking maple syrup. He was sentenced to 15 months in jail and 3 years probation there for that. 2004, he was found in violation in Saskatchewan. He was found binge drinking at a hotel with a woman named Barb Berkeley. Barb was taken to the hospital by staff at the hotel, and she was found in very bad condition, but she didn't die. And the Mounties gave him a warning at that point.
Just a warning,
But
a subtle
yeah,
warning.
but he only had about 2 more years left before his liver gave out. And he died in 2006 at the age of 74, which I was kind of stunned that a guy who drank at this like copious amounts of booze
Wow.
lasted 74. Because like Bob Madigan probably died at like, I think 48,
My
49.
my dad was 61.
Yeah. So this guy who's drinking like knocking back, I don't know, bottles of booze
At
every
least,
day.
yeah, probably he's probably having at least a liter, I would say. At least 40 shots of vodka a day this man is having.
I wonder if they preserved his liver. Like you might be able to get it on like murderabilia.com.
Ooh, a piece of his liver. Tasty.
Yeah.
It's pickled for sure. Remember there was that huge craze going around during the COVID about you making your pasta with vodka. This guy probably invented pasta vodka.
Yeah, I would say so. He was also the first person convicted in Canada to use alcohol as a murder weapon.
I can't think of any other killer that has been convicted of using alcohol as
Well,
a
I was wondering if
weapon.
like frat boys that, kill people involuntarily, like involuntary
Well,
manslaughter, like wouldn't that be
yeah,
alcohol as a murder weapon?
Kind of, but that's also different, isn't it? This guy is picking up people, forcing alcohol down their throat as he fucks them to death. That's intentional, and that is a murder. Whereas
Are
frat
you saying
boys
frat boys
is,
don't do that?
they definitely do, but their intention is to not kill, is it? It just sometimes fucking
Yeah.
happens.
Um, it just wasn't seen at this point, that it was murder. Like alcohol could be a murder weapon, and I think that's why a lot of his murders that were clearly murders weren't considered murder for the longest time. Like there was a period where he was charged, with crimes and connected to suspicious circumstances, but then they just never charged him with murder. And between 1975 to like 87, I'm sure he continually drank with Aboriginal women and they were found dead in his hotel room or his barber shop. But they're like, oh, well, he couldn't have killed them. There's no knives. There's no like gunshot wounds.
It's a very intelligent way to kill someone in a manner. He's obviously proven that you can get away with it.
But it's also very depraved. Like he preyed on the most vulnerable and desperate women that he could find.
Yeah.
You know, he was an opportunist. And a lot of his victims were alcoholics. So I think at that time he was just like, I'll just feed them more booze.
Yeah.
you know? And so,
Very
yeah,
strange
I
character.
think a lot of the police were like, well, I guess they're alcoholics and their alcoholism finally caught up to them, and that's why they died. But he was a lifelong criminal, never showed any remorse for any of his victims. He's like, they're on their last legs. I'm just helping them out here.
Yeah, I'm doing you all a favor. I'm cleaning up the streets.
I don't know. Is Vancouver? I don't know if Vancouver is a safer place with him gone, but maybe
Well,
people aren't drinking
obviously
as
it is.
much. Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure there's another one or two.
on the way.
I think the takeaway here is know your limits, people. Point 0.5 is too high. You don't want to
Don't.
be that drunk
Well, yeah. Just don't go back to hotels as strange man. Just don't do it.
or barbershops.
Or barbershops.
That's episode 788 here is Sick and Wrong. We got some news stories coming up next, some phone calls a little later in the show. But first, here's a word about our Patreon page. All right. I got a pretty good story here from Old Blighty.
Oh, do you, mate? From hello,
Yeah.
hello, land.
From Old Blighty.
I'm excited for my story too.
I kind of want to hear it. Data clock. Work's got a.
I did. I really want a cocktail now.
You want to drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually might be a good thing.
I was like, even though I went into town and it was fucking awful, I still haven't been in a bar yet. But part of me is like, I really just like want to go to a bar and just like get an £8 cocktail and just like have
for
like
old
a
time's
cocktail
sake.
I can't make at home. Like I can't make espresso martinis at home. I want an espresso martini. I want to be that
It was
bitch.
weird. It's weird being in a bar.
Yeah, I think just even seeing the amount of people in town, I was like, this is fucking crazy.
It was weird today. I went to Starbucks because I was like, I didn't have coffee, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Starbucks.
I
So I
like a
was like,
Starbucks from time to time. I do not judge on the Starbucks. From time to
"Ah,
time, I like a Starbucks.
there's better coffee here. Like, you can get a blue bottle
There's
or a
better
Phil's or
coffee
something.
everywhere, but it's like there's better coffee than
But
McDonald's. But from
well,
time to
Starbucks are
time,
ubiquitous, so
I
it's
like
like
it.
here. But this is weird. So I went in there, and like, first of all, everything's spaced out, and you can stand at tables, but you can't sit at tables.
Right.
And everything's all spaced out, hand sanitizer everywhere. But so I'm waiting in line. I'm like, yeah, I'll take an iced coffee. And like they're behind the glass. So it's already kind of hard to hear them. And they got like fucking music playing or whatever. And so she's just like, oh, well, would you like some room for milk? Because they always want to ask you that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take some non-fat milk. And she's like, non-fat milk. And I was like, yeah. She's like, now how about syrup? And I'm like, what? I was like, I'll put my own sugar in. She's like, no, it comes with syrup. I
Yeah,
was like,
like
syrup
vanilla or like
in your
caramel.
coffee?
Some people have that. I don't. When I get an iced coffee, I just have like an iced flat white.
Well, this is what they do now. They don't want to have, where you can put your own You
syrup
put
in.
your own like syrup or your own sugar and stuff like that. So they don't let you have bottles out or sugar or straws or anything because they do it for you. So now they just automatically just put syrup in for you.
Yeah, I
And
wouldn't
so
do
I
it.
was like, no, I don't want, why would you put syrup in my coffee? I was like, I don't want syrup. She's like, you don't want syrup, but it comes with a coffee. I was like, I don't want it. Like it was weird. I'm like, no syrup. She's
Were
like,
you getting sweaty doing that? I don't want it, even though it's
it kind
free.
of
I
was like
don't want it.
it was like a Larry David thing. I was like, no, I
Yeah,
don't want syrup in my coffee. Like, you don't have to put syrup. I'll put sugar. She's like, well, we put syrup instead. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. No syrup. Just
yeah.
put the fucking non-fat milk. I'll be fine with that. And they won't give you a straw anymore either. You got to drink it out of a.
Oh, it's a shit about the straw. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
an
It's
iced
fucking
coffee.
weird.
You need a straw for an iced coffee.
Fucking COVID. COVID sucks.
I love iced coffee. I nearly love iced coffee as much as I love normal coffee.
I like iced coffee when it's hot outside. I'm not gonna walk around with a
I
hot cup of coffee.
No, that's true. But I mean, I just love coffee in general.
Do you like the canned coffee, like the nitro
Yeah.
beverages and all that?
Yeah, the cold ones, yeah.
That's pretty big in Japan. Like when I was there, I was drinking one of those like almost every day. But also, it
We
was
have
such
them
a bitch
here.
ordering coffee.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It's
We
just a
have them
bitch doing
here.
everything.
I
But
always have some in my fridge because on a hangover, they set me right on a hangover because you're getting that little bit of caffeine, you're getting some sugar from the milk, you're also getting like the peppiness. So it
but
makes me feel better.
is it more like caffeinated than like an iced coffee, like a regular iced coffee?
Do you know what? When I go down and get a beer, I've got a can in my fridge. I'll bring it up and we'll look on the back and we can Google it.
Ooh, yeah, we'll do a
Yeah.
science experiment.
We'll do, yes. I'm all about that in the bunker. Science experiments.
All right, stories. You
Let's do
ready?
it. Yes.
All right. Okay. So first story we have here. This could be a scene. This could be a scene out of the film You're Next. You ever see
Oh,
that?
yeah. I really like
The
that
horror
film.
film? I like it. It's a
Surprising.
good one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
surprisingly liked it.
And it was relatively recent. I think like 2008, 2007, something like that. But it's a good horror movie.
It's
It's a fun
fun.
one, people. Lots
It
of
is.
gore. You should check that out. You're Next. Also, it's a good use of that Dwight Twilley song, "Looking for the Magic." So
Oh, great.
they really utilize that song well. Um, Pregnant mom begged for life as crossbow maniac killed her partner, then shot her in the head.
With a crossbow, like on Buffy.
Crossbow.
No way.
They used a crossbow, if you recall, in Your Next. The guys with like the masks had
They
a
do, but my
crossbow.
my first thought went to Buffy because Buffy rocked a crossbow, but instead of arrows, she had stakes for the vampires.
Then she put a stake in the crossbow.
Yeah, she killed loads of.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. She killed the master that way.
So this mom told of her life and death struggle here with a crossbow maniac who killed her partner and shot her in the head when she was 5 months pregnant.
Oh my
So she's
lord!
pregnant, this lady, 5 months pregnant.
And she
And
survived having an arrow in the head.
well, it gets worse than that.
What?
Deranged neighbor Anthony Lawrence broke into Laura Sugden's semi-detached house through a shared loft and then lay in wait for her and her boyfriend, Shane Gilmer. Then he launched a murderous attack that could have come straight out of a horror film, like You're Next. Miraculously, Laura and her unborn daughter, she was 5 months pregnant, survived the attack. And now she's campaigning for tighter regulations for crossbows, which apparently you can buy in England for only about 150 quid.
Seriously?
You can get a crossbow right now. Go on eBay.
Do you know
150 quid.
because I'm quite a posh northern slag. I did archery in school, but we never got to the level where we could have used crossbows. I would have stuck with the archery if there was ever a promise that we were going to get to the crossbow level.
Because you guys had archery in school.
Yeah, I did it as like it was like my sports. We did it. It's
It's
called
crazy.
outdoor pursuits. We did like
I
archery,
guess.
horse riding, mountain
Oh
climbing.
wait, did you have it like? Did you compete against other schools, or is
No,
this
this is
like a
like
phys
our
ed thing?
sports. This is what we did for sport.
Oh, crazy horseback riding too. You went to a posh school. Did you say Charlie Hunnam like was in your school or in your
Yeah, he
grade?
was a couple years older than me, but I was in drama I did drama with him, and I did like 2 plays of him.
I bet you that
Complete.
guy got laid. He probably got
Um,
laid. Didn't
kind of. He did date one of my friend's sister, but he was a complete cunt. I did not like the man. Really arrogant.
he?
And he just wasn't fun to work with.
I hope he's not listening to the show and he's just like, I'm never listening to Sick and Wrong again. Kate Rambo called me a cunt.
He won't remember me. I was just a lowly technician.
Describing the full terror of that night, January 2018, Laura said she found Lawrence, 55-year-old man, hiding in the bedroom of her then 3-year-old daughter, Isabel.
That's
Who apparently
terrifying.
wasn't there at the time. Um, Lawrence had previously threatened her husband or her boyfriend. Actually, they weren't married, but her baby daddy, Shane, with an axe after the couple protested about his loud music. I'm sure he was listening to Meatloaf because that's what all English people listen to.
Are you trying to slag on Meatloaf? Don't you dare slag off Meatloaf in my presence, because I will climb into your baby's room with a crossbow.
Well, it was in the process of being evicted because Laura and her husband Shane, her boyfriend Shane, complained to the landlord about cannabis fumes and a
Uh-oh.
suspected plant growing operation going on next door.
Oh, in the attic, probably in the shed.
Yeah.
That's always scared me, because in a lot of the, I don't know, is this in America as well? In a lot of the older houses here, you do share attic space, and a lot of them they'll be like walled off, but it's not walled off properly with like bricks. It's like drywall. You could break a hole in them and get into your next door neighbor's
Well,
house.
that's exactly what happened in this situation.
Yeah, it's
So
terrifying.
the couple had just got home after a Friday night at an Italian restaurant in Hull.
Oh
Hull
my God, Hull stinks.
is a shithole.
It's a shithole that stinks because of the river. It's disgusting.
So they went to a restaurant called Gino Diacampo. I'm assuming it's Italian, in Hull. And when they got home, Laura saw a dark stain on the carpet under the loft hatch.
Terrifying.
Apparently, Andrew Lawrence dismantled, I guess, the wall brick by brick and made enough room for him to get from his house into their house. Like he basically just went through the wall, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
She gingerly pushed open the bedroom door
Oh.
to find Lawrence wearing a head torch in the dark room, pointing what she thought was a gun at her. Nothing terrifying about that.
No. Oh God, you know what? You've just been out for a lovely happy hour meal with your boyfriend. You've had some I hope they ended on a tiramisu. Although my local Italian here, the really good one, one of the dessert options is a banana split.
It's weird. That's not Italian.
That's not Italian at all. But
That's
I always get the
Yank.
banana. I always get the banana split. I'm very partial to them. Let's
I
not
think
get
you'd
into
have seen that banana split again if you walked into your daughter's bedroom and found this guy, 55-year-old man with a head torch. I'm assuming is like a light
Yeah.
on it, like a
Yeah.
like a flashlight attached to his forehead. Horrified, she asked what he was doing in the house before shouting to her boyfriend Shane, "Don't come up. He's got a gun." Now, I'm about to make a statement here that I think will prove to be valid as we continue on with this narrative. This woman's a fucking badass. This woman
Yeah.
she's the character from Your Next, and you'll know if you've seen that movie who I'm talking about. Most people at this point who would walk into their daughter's bedroom at night and find a 55-year-old man with a head torch, like Buffalo Bill type of shit, and a fucking like crossbow pointed at her would scream, run downstairs and get the fuck out of your house. Not this woman. She's like, "What are you doing in my daughter's bedroom?
Do you know what,
Don't come upstairs. He's got a gun."
Yeah, it's because she's too full of lasagna, and she's like, "Oh fuck, I just want you to lie down. Here's this fucker. Better shout to him now."
I think there's also like this level of like confidence that pregnant women have because they're like, "Oh, people are going to be compassionate. I'm
'Cause I'm
pregnant."
pregnant.
You
It's
know?
also, don't forget, she's a tough Northern Yorkshire woman, and you don't mess with them.
And she knows the guy. It's their neighbor.
True.
So,
Although she might not have
she's like,
recognized him.
well, I think she was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So she stepped back into her hallway And Lawrence pushed her into the main bedroom, shoving her, this 5 month, she's 5 months pregnant, onto the bed before running back into the hall as the boyfriend ran up the stairs. She grabbed her phone and dialed 999. And she said, I was terrified. It was surreal. I kept thinking, like, this isn't happening. That's when she heard Shane, her boyfriend, say, "What the fuck is that?" Next thing I heard him moaning
Oh
loudly.
no.
He was getting a hand job from the guy. Bad Jewish. I'm joking. It's not the good kind of moaning here. It's the bad kind of moaning. And seconds later, Lawrence dragged Shane on his knees, like by his hair, into the room. A crossbow bolt had gone through his right forearm and lodged into his abdomen,
Oh,
damaging his liver and a kidney before embedding in his spine. So
oh
he
my
was like
word.
shot at like point blank range. It just went right through into his body. Laura then asked, "Is that going to kill him?" Once again, you think she'd be screaming, fight or flight would kick in at this point, but this woman's still rational. She's like, "Is that going to kill him? It's got the smart, you know."
Whoopsie.
She vividly recalls Lawrence's chilling, smirking reply, "Yes, and now I'm going to kill you too." She said the smirk was the only emotion he showed during the entire incident.
Oh my god.
As she begged for her life, you know, because she's pregnant, saying, "I'm pregnant." She begged for her life. He said the attack was in revenge for getting him evicted, which is something he only knew by listening to them through the wall with a special device.
What, a glass?
I don't know, like, yeah, glass up to the wall. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, this guy's psychotic. She begged for her life, saying she's pregnant, saying, "We've got children." He simply stared at her, moved his hand up in a talking motion, and said, "Blah, blah, fucking blah,"
This
before
is
shooting her in the head with a crossbow bolt.
this is like a film.
But isn't that one of the best responses to that like pregnancy plea for mercy you've ever heard? Blah, blah, bitty, blah, the fucking blah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pregnant. Do I have to give you my seat now?
Call the ambulance. And then
Oh,
he like
wah,
shoots her
wah,
in the head with a
wah.
crossbow bolt. She said blood was gushing down her face and she felt dizzy and she heard her boyfriend Shane scream. She looked over at him and he was pale and crying, which fair enough. I mean, a lot of Englishmen are like that. I'm thinking of Morrissey here.
They're just like that to begin with, yeah.
Laura, badass, found the strength to stand up and pull the fucking crossbow bolt out of her head. Like she pulled it from her head, like right out of her forehead.
You shouldn't do that because then you're going to release the pressure and it's going to piss blood. Should just left
Well,
it
it
in.
was pouring blood. And her neighbor like left the room. She's the chick from You're Next.
Yeah.
She then went over to Shane. The boyfriend is laying on the ground crying. She squeezed his hand. And as she did that, the neighbor, Lawrence, returned with another loaded crossbow bolt.
Oh
He
no.
threw herself at him, like she jumped at him. He straddled her on the floor. He got her on her back, straddled her, took the point of the crossbow bolt and started like pushing it into her neck, into her larynx. Doctors said the wound was so deep you could see her voice box.
Gnarly.
Yet the 5'2" mother, 5'2", shoved Lawrence off of her, pinned him down, screaming for her boyfriend, like, "You have to help me." He said, "I can't." And he just sat there crying. Useless.
Leave him.
Utterly useless. Why
Leave
would she
him.
breed with this guy?
My God. So she has a gaping wound in her throat. She has a
And her forehead?
and her forehead. She has a like maybe you could see her brains, and she's beating off this man in the worst way possible.
She's a
She is.
5'2" lady. She's like a diminutive figure fighting like a
Yeah.
stocky, man.
She's like my height.
Um,
You do not fuck with northern women, man. Like
why would she breed with this guy? Like this guy's genetic material needs to die out.
I think she's probably realized that now.
Well, he pushed the pregnant woman off of her and he ran from the room. Shane, the boyfriend, said, "You need to get help. If you don't go and keep you and the baby safe, I'll never forgive you."
Oh, okay.
Is that kind of dark? Like, what a weird thing to say. Like, why not? Hey, are you okay? Let's get some help. Call 999.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said, I could just remember him crying. He was gasping for breath. He looked at me, really looked at me, like the look someone gives you when they're going away for a long time. And he whispered in like a raspy voice, be strong. I love you. And those were the last words that Shane ever said to Laura.
I would have omitted the fact he was crying. I would have like kept that between us so it made him look a bit tougher.
Well, I think it's just very cliche when you be strong, I love you. Like if it was me, I'd have
Okay.
thrown out something just really random and kind of confusing yet memorable. Like, I'll buy that for $1.
I'd have been
You
like,
know,
and the treasure is buried at,
and just yeah, and just die.
and just die.
She was shaking with fear, barely able to see because there's just blood gushing out of the head wound. She ran downstairs, and then ran next door to her neighbors. The neighbors thought she'd been in a car crash because like her injuries were that bad. Meanwhile, Shane managed to make it all the way downstairs and call 999.
Okay, so he's not like totally useless after all then.
What the fuck? His wife's being attacked. She's got a fucking head wound. She's got the voice box showing. He can't get up and do it that, but he managed to get all the way downstairs.
To be fair to Shane, she does have the strength of two people right now, whereas he is only just one man.
Baby strength doesn't count.
See, she's got another person inside of her. It's baby strength. They do say that like pregnant women get like that special extra adrenaline
It's like
as well.
primal, yeah.
Yeah, totally
You know,
primal.
but I mean, the wife was like laying on her back, his pregnant wife, pregnant with his seed, while this man was shoving a crossbow bolt through her larynx. And he couldn't get his ass up to try to
Do you
like
know what?
stop the guy.
I'm not judging because especially in shock, you do weird things when you go into shock and everyone acts differently in shock. So you can't be judging him for not being able to do something whereas she's like super powerful and she like reacts to her adrenaline. He obviously doesn't.
No, he's a wuss.
He's a
Probably
wuss,
listens
mate.
to Oasis.
He's a northern pansy.
Um, at the inquest in Hull, I guess they played the tape with the 999 operator, and he said, "I love my children. Oh my God, I really, really want this baby. I really wanted it. I feel like I'm fading. I've lost so much blood." Once again, he missed a golden opportunity to say something random, confusing yet memorable. I would have been like, "Goonies never say die."
Oh, that's
It
a
just died.
classic.
That would
Yeah.
have been good because you'd be like, the guy just said something totally random.
You know what I would have said?
Goonies?
I would have gone, Roofy, oh!
Once again, yeah. A
Last
hook reference.
words.
No one ever would have known that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rufio is so cool as well.
But
Everyone
you'd
be like,
remember
yeah.
that though.
Yeah.
Lawrence fled, the neighbor, and he was found dead from an overdose of painkillers in a camper van 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Laura, fucking badass northern bird, said she's relieved he's dead, added, I only wish I'd killed him myself.
Yes. What a thing to say. I love her.
She's awesome. Despite her grief, Laura knows Shane would have wanted her to be happy. And so she's been dating someone else here on and off for a year. But she adds, sadly, it's hard for him because I'm still in love with Shane.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
But that's got to suck, though. I mean, to be the new boyfriend and she's still in love with her beta cuck dead husband.
Yeah, it's a tough one. He should just realize that he's just there to provide her with like, to warm her bed, basically. That's
Yeah,
what
but
he's there
if,
for.
if it was me, I'd be bringing up points why the husband's a beta cuck. It's like, hey, remember when you're getting the crossbow bolt shoved through your fucking throat? What was he doing? Crying
Crying.
over there. Okay. Do you remember this? Should I bring it up again? Like we talk about it? Because
Don't
I
see
would have been
me
doing that.
don't see me crying, do you?
No, I'd have been kicking some fucking ass.
Does what did she name the baby? Does it say?
No, it doesn't. I
If
wonder if
she's
she
named
named him
that
Shane.
baby,
I would have been so pissed.
I would also be pissed if she's named the baby something like Hope or Destiny because she survived. That's
One of
also
those stripper
shit.
names.
Yeah, one of them.
She said, we were madly in love. We worked at the same place. We're hardly ever apart. The honeymoon period never actually went away. Would you still be able to work at that job?
And what? You just think about how Jim first walked into the office and I fell in love with him. Love Pam. Um, well, why would you give up the job if you enjoyed it? Because of
Yeah,
the
but I mean, just
memories.
because of the memory, it's like, do you think
Memory.
Jim, if Pam was murdered in such a horrific fashion, do you think Jim would have kept working there or vice versa?
Not vice versa, because Pam is actually really evil on The Office and Jim is lovely. I think Jim would have quit, but Pam would stay working there.
Laura is now calling for tougher regulations on the sale of crossbows. She said in this to acquire a shotgun in the UK, you need a license. And if there's any sign of mental health issues, you can't buy one. Well, they certainly don't do that here. She said, yeah, you can go on eBay and buy a crossbow right now. They are lethal medieval weapons. And Shane's death is an example of what can happen if they fall in the hands of an angry person. It made me think it's like you guys can't go get guns at like a local gun show or a Walmart. So you guys have to go the medieval route.
Which is
So I think it's
cool.
kind of cool in a sense. Like go get a Morning Star or a halberd,
Wait.
you
A
know,
mace.
a mace. Yeah, just go
A
classic.
scythe. Or a scythe.
The body count might not be as high, but it's going to be cooler.
It's way cooler. And plus, when you think about, as you think about your mortality, you're like, I want to live a long and happy and healthy life and just die in my bed as an old person. You don't think, yeah, my crazy stoner next door neighbor is going to come in with a
Some swinging a
crossbow.
Morning Star.
Yeah. Or a scythe and just say, kill me. That's how I'll die. You never
Yeah, in
think that.
Britain, there's no license or registration to own a crossbow.
I'm going to get one.
The Shadow Home Secretary. I don't even know what that is, but that's a great title. The
Yes.
Shadow Home Secretary is one of the shadow people. Nick Thomas Simmons has vowed to do everything possible to help Laura bring about change to regulate the ownership of crossbows. So the moral of the story is go get your crossbow right now, okay? Because it's going to be very difficult in about 2 months.
Like I need another excuse to be on eBay. Like I need one.
Goonies never say die. What do you have here for the second story?
Okay, so for the second story, I have Cannibal Son cut mum into pieces and he shared them with the family dog.
I love that song in the 90s.
Papa Roach, suffocation, no breathing. It's a
I used to be,
classic.
yeah, it's such a classic.
It's a
Back when I
very
had dreads and
Oh,
baggy
did
jeans.
yeah, I used to have the baggy cards that would get when it was raining outside that would soak up all the water off the streets. Did you have them too?
No, to be honest, thankfully, I was too old for that abysmal genre of music of the late
New
90s.
metal.
Yeah,
Yes, same.
I hated it from day one. I was just like, what the kids are listening to these days.
That's true.
I never was a part of that
I'm
music.
glad it didn't last. Let's put it that
Oh, I'm
way.
glad it died.
Me too.
And it was short lived too, thankfully.
Very short-lived when you think about it, just a
Yeah.
couple of years. So, a cannibal I love cannibal stories. A cannibal's son is accused of cutting his mum into 1,000 pieces, then stashing them in lunch boxes and sharing them with his dog. Now, I did try to find the breed and name of the dog, but it didn't come up. So I'm just assuming it's a gorgeous street mutt. That's why we're gonna go with the
I
dog.
don't know. Well, he's
So
a very generous man. I mean, at least he's feeding the dog,
yeah,
providing.
that's what you always do with your doggy. You share what you eat with them. It's like it's a bonding experience for you both. Alberto Sanchez Gomez, 28. He's facing more than 15 years in prison if found guilty of killing Maria Soledad Gomez, 68, and dismembering her after a row. They had a little bit of a fight here. So
Fight with mummy.
he had a fight with his mummy. He's a not working waiter at the minute because of the COVID. He was arrested at the flat he shared with his mother. And he told them when he was arrested that he had been eating her bit by bit with his pet dog over a fortnight. Do you think it was like chorizo? Oh, we can get
One
into
for
this.
me, one for you,
You.
one for me.
We can get into this argument as well because like people say like if the white way to say chorizo, that's the white way, but is it supposed to be chorizo or is it am
Uh,
I saying it right?
People here pronounce it chorizo.
Chorizo. That
Yeah.
was when I first turned vegetarian. That was like the thing I thought I was gonna miss the most.
You can get that at Trader Joe's vegetarian chorizo.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's just not the same. It's so flavorful and like oily and delicious, and I
It's
do miss it.
pork, right? Is it
Yeah,
pork?
it's like garlic pork that's been
Yeah.
smoked. It's just it's delightful.
Food of the white devil.
So they found poor Maria. You've got to see her. Her remains are in Tupperware containers in their fridge. He had kept bones in the drawers around the family home, so maybe he was going to make up a stock or something. And this is in Madrid, and their home is near the famous La Ventus bull ring, which we won't get
Oh,
into
yeah.
that now. But local reports did say that her body had been cut up into more than 1,000 tiny pieces. And at the start of his trial, he admitted that he had heard hidden messages when he watched TV and voices telling him to kill your mum. Just kill her. You don't need her around. Kill her and then chop her up into 1,000 tiny pieces.
So he was schizophrenic.
I think so. Or he could just be a liar, as they are. He did
A
say that.
1,000 pieces, though. You gotta have like a Ginsu knife or something for that.
Yeah, you've got to have some like OCD determination.
Yeah, and did the cops count all the pieces? Like, how would they know?
Oh, that would take ages. Imagine if that was your
Yeah.
job on the force that day. You'd be like, why the fuck did I ever become a police? A chorizo eating police. Why did I do this?
I would keep yelling numbers like
Oh,
32,
you'd be
33,
oh,
85,
you'd be
76,
that fucking prick, would you? You're that dickhead.
632. It's like, fuck you.
He said that the voices that he heard were those of his neighbors, acquaintances, and celebrities. I personally think hearing a celebrity would be pretty cool. It'd be a bit like being Clarence on True Romance, having Elvis come and speak to you.
Oh, yeah. That would be kind
Yeah.
of cool. I wonder, did they say which celebrity?
No, it didn't. I did try to look. But like, do you never
No.
do the thing where you pretend that you're on like sometimes I pretend I'm on Parkinson and Parkinson's interviewing me. Do you ever do stuff like that where you pretend you're being interviewed in your head?
No, but sometimes I hear the voice of Ron Jeremy in my head.
Telling you to what? Take advantage of girls.
Just, I don't know, just weird things like what I should be eating and
Your cock.
the
Eat
type of
your own
porn I
cock.
should watch.
Eat your own, eat your own cock and take advantage of girls. And you two can end up in jail, just like me.
Just telling me how to get laid. I don't listen.
So this unemployed waiter who has been arrested, he insisted he didn't remember cutting up his mummy, and he insisted he didn't remember eating her remains, even though he'd been doing it for 2 weeks. And it was only a worried friend who hadn't seen his mum for a month. She's the one who raised the alarm. So not even the tenants in the building could smell the bones in his drawers. Imagine going around to his house and he's just got a drawer full of boners.
Yeah, but it's got it's not boners,
Literally.
but I mean,
That's the way I would do it. I'd be like, do you want to see my boners? And then it would be like, it's my mum.
it's got a smell though, right? It's like decomposing flesh.
Well, he's putting them in Tupperware boxes and putting them in the fridge.
Oh yeah, and I guess he must be cleaning the meat off the bones. Do you think he was boiling the bones?
Yeah, I think he was going to make like some tasty stock and have himself, because that's what you need for paella. You need a really good stock.
So was he cooking the meat before he ate it, or was he eating it just raw?
I think no one will ever truly know. But in my mind, you're going to fry it up.
I love when cannibals, eat the flesh, but then cook it and have their family or other loved ones eat
Yeah.
the flesh too.
Well, he's inviting his family to eat this flesh because the dog is a
I
member of
guess
your
he and the
family.
dog, yeah.
Dog
Was
is
there a
like-
father? Like, did he already eat the father?
No, the daddy's long gone.
No, not
So
surprised.
when the tapas eating cops went to the door of his apartment, they were asking him about where's his mum, and he just went, yeah, my mummy is in here and she's dead.
Or he didn't just start rubbing his belly. Right here.
And then when he let them into his home to have a little nosy about, as the police do, he said, me and the dog have been eating her bit by bit. I had a dog growing up, and so did you. Did you ever used to do that thing where you put like a chip in your mouth and then let the dog eat it out of your mouth?
Yeah, my dog, because he's a big German Shepherd, he would never even touch your lips.
Yeah, my dog was a Springer Spaniel, so he was very delicate. He wouldn't snap you or anything. He was very cute.
Did you ever have one of those dogs? 'Cause I've heard the Springer Spaniels can do that. Well, Golden Retrievers too, where they put the treat on the dog's nose and the dog just flips it up and catches
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, he
My
could
dog
do
couldn't
that.
do that, but I was always impressed when I
Yeah, he
saw
could
that.
do that. He was quite he wasn't a greedy dog, but he was, and I used to do things where like I know you shouldn't give your dogs chocolate, but this is me as a child, as a 10-year-old. Over here we have a chocolate called Rolos, and you're supposed to save the last one for the person you love. And whenever I had Rolos, I would always save the last one to give to my dog.
Oh, oh,
Isn't
that's
that
nice.
romantic?
It did. Can it kill the dog like chocolate? Doesn't it kill the dog?
Chocolate like that won't kill a dog. Real chocolate will kill a dog. It's shitty chocolate. So what he had been doing when the police went to his flat on February the 21st last year, which is also February the 21st is the greatest day of the year. The accused, he had transferred his mum's body to the bedroom and he had put her on the bed with the aim of making her body disappear. And to do that, he cut her up using a carpenter's saw and two kitchen knives. Once he had,
Oh.
yeah, just regular old
Well,
kitchen
carpenter's
knives.
saw, you could definitely cut someone into many different pieces.
Yeah, because they're quite delicate saws, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
Well,
once
I mean,
he
you could just, it's all automatic. You're not like sitting there sawing through it
Oh,
with
you
a
mean like an
handsaw.
oh, see in my mind I thought it'd be one for like making decorative artwork in your woods. Honestly,
I'm
that's what
picturing
I
like an
thought.
industrial strength like carpenter's saw. You could really get some chopping going on there.
That's what he must have done. Once he had cut up her body, he would eat bits of it from time to time over a period of around a fortnight, putting some of her body parts in Tupperware containers around the apartment and the fridge and throwing others away in plastic bags. So that's what he did.
How long would it take to eat your mom?
Depends how big your mum is.
My mom is pretty big. It would take me a long time.
I'd be so grossed out eating my mother. I don't want to eat my mother.
Yeah. Oh,
Like of all the people to eat, no. I draw the line.
the dog wouldn't mind though. That just shows you right there. You know, when people always say, like, if you died, your dog would be loyal and just sit right next to you, but your cat will eat you. That's some bullshit. Your
Your
dog's
dog
gonna
is
fucking eat
eating.
your flesh.
Yeah,
It's a fucking dog.
it's true. So he's gonna get a 15-year, 5-month prison sentence, which seems a bit low for a cannibal. I would think it would be
He
maybe
ate
in the
his mom.
20s.
Yeah, you think it'd be a little more than that, but okay.
Prosecutors are also seeking to get him a 90,000 euro fine for his brother because that's for his mum's loss, which is something they must do in Spain if he's found guilty of homicide and desecrating a corpse. So he's not being done with cannibalism, he's just being done with desecrating a corpse. Oh, here you go. This is where his dear old
What about
daddy died.
murder? Didn't he murder her?
Well, they can't prove that though, can they?
I guess he's eaten half the evidence.
She's been chopped into pieces. This is it. His cabinet maker father, he didn't just run off. He was dead. He died when he was
Oh.
15. Um, Neighbors are believed to have told investigators that they often heard raised voices coming from the flat, and they would frequently see police and paramedics there. In letters he has written from prison, which have been published, Alberto said, "I can't stop thinking about what happened. I've been ill for a long time and I've taken refuge in drugs. I've been hearing voices for a long time and having hallucinations. All of this has led me to the worst thing that's happened in my life. I have reached my last resort." I made that last bit
Whoa.
up.
Isn't that a Papa Roach song? That's the song, right?
That's
Last
the
Resort.
song. I made
Isn't there
it
a
up.
song called Last Resort?
Yes, dude. I made it up. It's a joke
Oh,
that has
okay.
landed
All right. All right.
terribly.
I was hoping it was
Yeah.
part of it because I was thinking then he's a like that's probably what made him schizophrenic is his lifelong love of new metal.
New metal of Papa Roach and their one song.
That's what happens.
I would
That's
love
the
that
takeaway,
PRS.
people. Steer
Mhm.
clear of that wretched music. It's the devil's music.
It is.
Send in your story, sigrunpodcast@gmail.com. We have some phone calls coming up next, 323-522-4032. But first, here's a little word from Adam and Eve. All right.
Gino said man tapas, which is amazing.
Man tapas. I don't think I've ever had that.
No, because that's what he was eating. He was eating his mam tapas.
Oh,
So
ma'am.
mam,
Okay, ma'am
mam. I did
tapas.
say man then. Okay, I'm
You
gonna
know,
put it down.
we have a Gino ma'am story coming up next.
Do we? I
Yep.
love Gino's mom.
I know. I love those stories too.
She's a cool fucking lady.
Yeah, very loving mother you have there, Gino. Mm-mm-mm. I'll be right back. Cha, 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 cha. Do, 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 do. Gangrenous. Jesus. Your mom had her toe cut off. What happened to her? Was it like a diabetes thing? All right. I want to hear about these butt plug Sharpies. Wow.
Oh shit! I forgot to get that fucking coffee.
No, you can tell me later. uh, Gino's mom had her toe cut off, but they didn't eat it. That's daft, mate. Kate, did you hear that? Gangrenous. Gangrene's a good band. You know, that would have been, I have a different song of the week here, but that would have been, a good band to end the show with. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm not going to play it because every time you play something on this fucking YouTube live stream, you get pinged with copyright violations.
So it does say that it's high caffeine content, 240 milligram per liter. 12.8% of it is.
Jesus. Wow. This Rockstar, 160.
Oh, so it's nothing then. Oh
No,
no,
but
it is.
it's way more than
240
Rockstar.
milligrams.
Yeah, it's like almost 100 more than milligrams than the Rockstar.
Judes, it's a good my hangover cure.
I was thinking like for the song of the week, it would have been good to play Gangrene's Alcohol. You know that song? The band
No.
Gangrene. It's kind of a, I don't know, 80s, 70s, 80s punk band. I think they're 80s. But
What we should be playing is a fucking Meatloaf song for Jim.
no, we're gonna play a better song than all that.
D doesn't like Meatloaf.
No, God, I can't listen to it. It
Because you're
hurts
not
my
British.
sensitive ears.
Because you don't get it, mate. Because you're not British.
Wow. This dude, Michael's, his mother-in-law had her leg cut off. Put my wife off mints for life.
They're
Wow.
saying it looks like angel hair pasta. When you get past that fat letter, it looks like angel hair pasta.
What kind of crisps are you eating there, Kate? The same ones?
Mm-hmm.
Are those your favorite crisps?
One of them. It's just a big bag. Like, I'll eat that all day.
So when Kate was telling me how much she likes chips, so I sent her some American chips. I sent her Ruffles. And what'd you think of? Did I send you any other? I forget which kinds I sent you.
You
Sent
sent
you like
me
a
a
box with like a bunch of
massive,
different kinds of chips.
right, you sent me that massive pack of them, which was like, it was
It
from,
was like a
it was
huge,
this
but
big.
that's like normal American helpings of
Okay, well, I
chips.
couldn't finish that and it went stale. So I had to chuck
Oh,
out
and it went stale. So you
because
get
I
a
couldn't
chip
finish
clip.
it. A chip clip. No, but I do tightly pack them because I don't eat crisps all that often. Probably like maybe once a week I'll eat crisps. But they went stale, but you sent me like a spicy jalapeno one and I ate them. But they were like, so this is that
Like, is
size.
that a typical size of chips?
It was way bigger. It's like
Hmm.
it was like up to there. No, this is a big pack. This is the
So wait, what's the
equivalent.
typical size of
Oh
crisps
god,
in the
like that.
UK?
Half that. That.
God, Americans would be like, that's not enough
That.
food. You know, I never eat chips. I mean, it's very, very rare. As or
I do like
crisps or whatever.
crisps.
I just it's not. Do you like Doritos? Do you guys have those?
Yeah, we have Doritos. They're a better corn chips. I'm not really into Doritos.
What about Cheetos?
We do have Cheetos and they're okay.
It's another one I don't like. What about cheesy poofs? Do you have those?
Yeah, we call them Whatsits.
What's it?
Whatsits. Yeah, I'm not really into like the kind of cheesy crisps, although I did have a fascination with Quavers a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's never been a thing for me.
Depends what mood I'm in as to what type of crisp I want, but I do like them. Salt and vinegar, baby.
All right. Let's get into a little phone call. Phone call portion
Let's.
of the show. This show's always cut
Sometimes.
up into thirds. All right. So, got a few phone calls to get to. 323-522-4032 is the number of the sick and wrong drunk dial line. You don't have to be drunk to call it. You can be high. Either
It
one
helps.
works.
Yeah.
It helps. Helps ease the the nerves. I don't know if this first guy's was drunk or high when he called. I think he was just having a bit of nostalgia. Here's Gino with another ma'am story.
Oh yeah, D&K, it's Gino again with another mum's story. This was about the time that I was probably a couple of years older than last time, probably about 16 or something. And my brother, I had a lot of twatty mates, as you can see from my previous things. My relationship with my brother was quite contentious. I'm sure Kate can identify with that. And
Your brother's twats, Kate. You have two, right?
I do have two brothers.
Twats.
Older one's a twat. The younger one's okay, but don't speak to either of them.
God, yeah, your familial relations. Like, there should be like a psychoanalytical study on that.
Well, my older brother's a bully. I haven't talked to him like since I was 15, and like he had a baby this year, and I have whatever.
You
Now
met the
2K.
baby, or like, do you know if
I
it's a
will
boy or
never
a
meet this
girl?
baby. It's a boy, but I don't give a shit.
You didn't even like call and say, "Hey,
No.
congratulations, on your kid."
Oh well, congratulations to doing what fucking loads of people can do. You spunked in your girlfriend.
I don't know, it's
Well
your
fucking
fucking
done.
niece or nephew. You don't even care to meet
I'll
them.
never meet. I'm never gonna meet this child.
I hope
And my
this
younger
kid.
brother.
I hope this kid seeks you out, like later in life.
And I'll be like, yeah, your dad is a prick.
Yeah, no,
So I'm
man.
not
What
talking
if
to
you
him.
like this child will commiserate with you? Like, I fucking hate my dad.
Oh, in which case we'll go to the pub and have a right good time together. My younger brother I haven't talked to in like since my dad died, like 9-10 years.
I heard
Because
I
he
have
just
this
fucked
evil
off.
witch for an aunt.
He just fucked off to Australia and he didn't speak to any of us like ever again. He speaks to my mum, but that's it.
It's a bizarre family.
A very bizarre family. Very,
one of his
very
mates,
bizarre.
I was playing football in the back yard, and one of his mates threw my football into this wooded area that was at the back. So I went in and got it, but unfortunately there was like a broken bottle, and I stood on it, and it, like the top of it, the sharp bit went straight into my heel. Still got the scar now. So I came out of this
Brutal.
screaming, the fucking bottle hanging out my foot, blood pissing out everywhere. So I think my mate managed to get me into the room, front room. Mum was there, and we had an Atari 2600 at the time, one of the old cartridge things. And she was
Nice.
playing. She was addicted to Pac-Man, so she was playing Pac-Man, and I was like, suddenly come in, and she's like, "What the fucking hell's
Great
going
game.
on?" And I was pissing blood everywhere. I was like, "Oh God, I've got a hole in my foot. I'm gonna have to go to hospital." And she was like, "But I'm playing Pac-Man." I was like, but I'm bleeding. Oh, I'll finish this game. Right. So
She's the best mom ever.
I love Gino's mom. Like, yeah, that would totally be me. I'd be like, no, I'm playing Red Dead. Leave me alone.
Yeah, but you know what's nice about it? She doesn't pamper the kids. You know, they grow up
doesn't.
being tough.
Yeah, you're gonna
Like a
have a
boy named
tough northern
Sue.
mum. You're gonna be a tough northern boy.
I'm sort of like not right in the head at that time from blood loss and stuff. And I was sort of waiting there. She was playing Pac-Man, and I sort of like felt myself pass out a little bit. And I kind of woke up and then noticed that she had a lower score than she did when I was conscious. And she'd died and restarted the game. And all this time I'm bleeding. Anyway, eventually she did
Bleeding
take me to
out.
hospital. Fair play to her, I suppose. Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, that was kind of what my childhood was like. Okay, take it easy.
It's got to be comforting. I imagine, like after years of therapy, you like come to terms with like, yeah, I just wasn't as important as the Atari.
I wonder if if Gino, I wonder if he hears like the Pac-Man music. Does it like trigger him? Does he get PTS?
Yeah, what
PTS Pac-Man.
was your brother's name? Like Blinky? What was the other one? What was the other ghost names? I remember Blinky was a red
Oh
one.
my god, I can't even tell you the names of the ghosts. I was just
I
thinking,
remember Blinky was one.
were you going to start referring to Mrs. Pac-Man then? Remember when she existed?
You know, a quick Pac-Man story.
Okay.
I'm fucking good at Pac-Man. Like those, you know, a lot of people
Yeah.
say like, oh, D, like, you know, doesn't know anything about video games. I don't know much about contemporary video games. I haven't had a video game system in a while. Nothing wrong with video games. I love to go to my brother's house and seeing all the new games. But I was good at like older games. Like that's when I was really playing games and like practice and all that.
Yeah, in your
But
childhood.
yeah, well, not only that, like we had an Atari and everything. But when I was working as a strip club DJ in North Beach, and people from San Francisco might remember this, there was an arcade, like an old school arcade that used to be on North Beach. I think now it's some shitty bar. But there's like an old arcade there that was a little expensive, to be honest. It's like Chinese run arcade that definitely charged a little bit too much for their games. But there's an old Chinese man there that would play Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man.
Oh,
And he was
okay.
like, and it was a good Miss Pac-Man. It was like, because sometimes you'll play a Miss Pac-Man and it's super slow, like the Pac-Man slow, but a good one where she's like lightning fast. And this like older Chinese man, he probably was in his 80s, would just kind of lean back and just play it with just wrist motions. And so I would go in there and I'd watch him like on my lunch break. I had like, you know, like a half an hour to kill. And one day he was just like, "Oh, you want to play?" And I was just like, "All right." And we played, and he taught me the technique. So I'm fucking good at Miss Pac-Man.
This is like Karate Kid.
Yeah,
but
he's my
for-
Mr. Miyagi.
for Pac-Man. So you're telling me that an old Chinese man that you met in an arcade taught you a wrist technique?
Well, you're perverting it on
That
purpose.
is what it
Kate.
boils down to. An
You're
old
perverting
Chinese
this on
man
purpose.
taught you on your dinner break from a strip club, taught you a wrist technique.
I gave him like free free access cards. Like you can get into Roaring Tony's for free, like little deja with like an extra like with a lap dance because I had like all these cards.
Did you run back in and show all the strippers going, I got a new wrist technique, girls. You want to see?
No, what I'm saying is I'm fucking good at Miss Pac-Man because I learned from an old Chinese man. All right, wax on, wax off.
Does it specifically have to be Miss Pac-Man? Like
Miss
if
Pac-Man.
Yeah, if you just can't play regular boy Pac-Man, it's
Or
gotta be Miss
Pac-Man
Pac-Man.
Junior. It's Miss Pac-Man. That's the only one I can play, and it's
So
got to be the
Pac-Man
stand-up
Junior?
arcade, not like a sit-down one, not the tabletop sit-down, stand-up arcade. Miss Pac-Man. I'll play it for like this dude. Not even shitting you. He flipped it. You ever see that? You ever see that
Yeah.
happen? where the
Yeah,
score got so high that you
I've
flipped it and it went
heard,
back
but
to
I've never
0.
seen in real life. But I've heard of the legend of
He
flipping.
was a master of Pac-Man.
My game
He
is
was one
always
with the game.
Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive, or as you guys call it, the Genesis. And I always played as the hooker, as the whore, which says a lot about me now. I was always
Not
her.
surprised.
She had the coolest outfit. It was all red leather thigh-high boots, a red miniskirt, and like a red boob tube. She was so cool. I
She
can't
had a
remember what her
great
name
wrist
is.
technique.
But I remember there was like Axel. He was cool. It was a great game. I could finish
Oh,
it.
that
That's
was
why I
good.
loved
That was
it.
good.
Good
Well,
time.
Gino, I'd like to know about your relationship with your ma'am now. That'd be like, do you guys talk about some of these
Well,
negligent moments?
he buys her dildos.
Dildos.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
he's
remember. That was one of his first cars where he said that they were in Blackpool together and he bought his
Oh,
mum a
yeah. Oh,
vibrator as a
yeah.
joke. They have a fucking great relationship. Do you know why? Because they're both good eggs. That's why.
Well, but the thing is, like with tough love like this, making your kid wait while he's bleeding out, he's not going to be like sitting there crying while some maniac is shoving a crossbow bolt through your wife's throat.
That is very true. I also had another friend who remember when World of Warcraft first came out. Oh my god! When everyone, yeah, I
I
had
was
somebody
super
who,
into it.
yeah, who basically abandoned her children for 4 years to play
To
World
play
of
Warcraft.
Warcraft.
I'm glad she's
Yeah.
brooding.
I'm doing really well in the game. That means I'm doing well at life. That was
All right. Well, thanks, Gino. Always love the ma'am stories.
yes.
Even though this is a little like, I guess a little day late, dollar short kind of, but a nurse is calling in about the foreskin debate.
Oh,
Hi Dee, hi Kate. Long time listener, first time caller.
nice.
I'm in healthcare. I was a PSW, then a nurse, and I just want to weigh in on this whole circumcision thing. Sure, I agree. You're born with what you got, so just enjoy it. But when you get older and you're reliant on people that don't exactly know what to do with the dick, having a foreskin is really bad. Like, if you pull it back and you clean it because that's your job, and you forget to pull it forward again.
That's your job.
I can see what she's saying. In America, this will definitely be an issue. It won't
Yeah,
be an
but could
issue
you
here.
imagine if that's your job?
I've
Like you're
never.
cleaning pensioners' foreskins.
It disgusts me over here how little
You couldn't pay
carers
me enough.
get paid. Well, do you know what? They don't get paid enough, and they don't literally
To
get
clean
paid enough.
foreskins.
These people are just like regular people like you and me, and they're getting paid like sometimes just like average wage. Like that's wrong to me.
Yeah, no,
And it does take a certain special type of person with a special type
crime.
of temperament to do it. Because I couldn't do it. I just
No,
like,
there's no way there's no way I could peel back someone's foreskin.
I don't like
and clean it.
babies, and I also don't like old people. They freak me out. If I was to see like an old person naked, I think I would like be like Ace Ventura crying in the corner.
You know how they say, and this nurse could probably answer this for me, men's scrotums like grow long as they get older. Does the same thing happen to the foreskin? Like, does it keep growing like into a trunk?
Does the same happen to vaginas as well? Is it just gravity sucking it all? Like vagina lips?
I don't know if your
Do they
labia
just get
starts, like,
longer?
flapping. I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
do your flaps get longer? They must do.
Yeah, but like your scrot keeps growing. So I wonder if the same thing happens to your foreskin.
Yeah.
It can swell up and turn into like a little flesh cock ring, like right under the meatus. So it's really
meatus.
painful and it's really disturbing. And so personally, I think if I ever were to have a little boy, I would have that baby circumcised. And for the record, for personal use, like out of work use, I would say circumcised is the way to go. It's just prettier, cleaner, and I enjoy it. But hell,
Aesthetically
if
pleasing.
somebody I like has a foreskin, then cool. We can keep going. It's not a deal breaker. It's still pretty and nice. So yeah, have a great day, guys. Bye.
Cool
I
call.
appreciate the feedback there. And yeah, I gotta say, I kind of agree with her.
I think in America, definitely that wouldn't be an issue over here because people
We're
have
all about aesthetics
foreskins.
here. Very shallow people.
Very pretty. I mean, like a cock is a cock, in it, mate. They all just look like sleepy sausages at the end of the
Words
day.
that Kate lives by. A cock's a cock.
At
Who
the end of the
cares?
day.
End of the day. It's gonna go in one of my holes. I don't really care.
It's true.
I didn't even know about that. So is she saying when she's like bathing these old men and she peels back their foreskins, if she forgets to flip it back over, it gets like
It'll
like
dry
a like a
out.
like a flesh cock ring.
Yeah, it will dry out. It'll probably be really painful.
And they're probably like, have dementia or something, so they can't even say anything about it. Next thing you know, they got to chomp their conks off.
You know in the film Bubba Hotep with Bruce Campbell, where he's
Mhm.
Elvis. You remember that scene where he
The
starts
foreskin
getting
washing?
he starts getting a bit of a chubby furrer. You remember it? You don't remember it because he can't get.
No, I gotta watch it.
He's got ED,
Wait. I do kind of remember that
and then
now.
he gets a chubby on, and she's looking at him going, "Ooh." I was like, I bet that's what it's like when, because like, at what point do the chubbies stop? At what point do men like stop getting erections?
I don't know if they do. Like I've dated a couple girls that have worked at like old age homes, and they said
Yeah.
that when they bathe, the men, even when they're like,
The men's.
demented and they're like 90 years old, they'll get like a full on boner and just like be laughing.
Yeah, but is that like, I mean, a boner that they could use and not just like a reactionary boner? Like, could they shag?
I
with
think
that
it's
boner?
involuntary. Well, maybe, I don't know. Are
You
you gonna
remember they
test
were
it out?
saying that the people who all get the chlamydia are in their 20s, and then the second group of people who all get the chlamydia are in their 70s because they all be boning each other.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with like the EDS meds, like the Viagra and,
And the
stuff like that with
and
the
the
old
EDS
people.
meds. That's true. Good for them. Great.
Well,
call.
thank you there, nurse. Appreciate the call.
Nurse Foreskin.
Nurse Foreskin calling in. Final call here is Adam from Tokyo.
Oh, nice.
Hello, sick and wrong. This is Kate's cum towel.
No, this isn't Kate's cum towel. This is Adam calling from.
That's exactly what I picture your cum towel to sound like.
You know what? I might go and show everyone what it looks like at the end of this.
Yeah, people that are on the live stream, you might get to see Kate's cum
I
towel.
will show you my cum. It's clean. It's
like stiff as a board.
But that is totally what it would sound like. As soon as I like open up the casket and drag it out, it goes.
It's like British towel, but just like stiff from all the cum.
Yeah, like a witch.
Tokyo. Hey guys, thanks for some love. I heard my name mentioned a few times, and it always makes me happy. I feel like I don't have to call you guys when I'm drunk, but it is more fun to call you when I'm drunk for whatever reason.
More inspired.
So, I try to think of sick and wrong stories to tell you, but some of my life is like making out with hot chicks and eating really good food. So, it's not all sick and wrong. So you kind of think back like, oh, what was like some of the really worst times? And like, I'm in Japan for like almost 2 decades, and I love Japan. And it's great. I have some fucked up stories here. I'll tell you them here and there, but I'm from East Vancouver, and East Vancouver is kind of like the Tenderloin. I think. Do you know?
We're just talking about this.
There
I
you
even, I haven't
go.
really listened. I just kind of picked this song or this call out randomly. But it's totally apropos.
So Adam, if he's been in for 2 decades, was he there during the Lucy Blackman murder? Oh no, maybe not, because she was in the 90s. Because it would have been cool if he was around for that, because a white.
Well, he might have been. I mean, it's been almost 2 decades.
I mean, she was murdered in 1995, but a lot of white people were kind of vilified in Japan for quite a while because of that. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
About that, and I guess it's like kind of goes. I think Skid Row in LA and the Tenderloin and East Vancouver are some of like the poorest area codes in all of North America. And just like, I was thinking about what the emblem is like a turd filled with heroin needles. Like so many times
It's a
in East
tenderloin.
Vancouver, I just like come across like a turd filled with heroin needles. Or like, I remember one time I walked
It's like
in
the
on
flag.
like a hobo gangbang, I guess. I don't even know. I walked in
Oh,
this, alley to go spray paint or whatever.
like on
It was,
It's Always
like
Sunny.
not an alley, like a clearing, and there was like maybe 7 dirt hobos like fucking some chick.
7.
And I didn't get to see too much detail. I kind of walked in, and everyone was putting away their private parts as I walked in, but it was kind of horrifying. But I
remember in the Tenderloin, I was walking like my building. It was the building I had that had bed bugs, like over in Larkin. I was walking. You had to like go in the basement and throw your garbage out in the bin. And so I was like bringing my garbage downstairs. I only lived on like the 2nd floor. And so I was bringing my garbage downstairs, and there was this like hobo, like sodomizing another hobo. And the one, he was like sitting there smoking crack, like he was a white hobo that was getting sodomized by a black hobo. And he was just sitting there smoking crack, and the dude just like sitting there just fucking him right against the dumpster. And I was like walking back with my garbage bag, and I'm sitting there looking at him. The guy's just like, "What the fuck you looking at?" And I was like, "Nothing." I just kind of left my garbage bag just there, and I walked back upstairs.
I would have been like, I just wanted to put something in the bin. Why are you like this?
mean, I've seen a million Johns and tricks together, which I imagine Dee's seen as well.
Yeah.
But
Tenderloin.
I guess I was thinking about, okay, what's some sick shit I've seen in Japan? And one of my friends had a three-P, like he double teamed a chick with his brother. I don't have a brother, but to me that's fucking horrifying. I don't know. I mean, Hugh, I'm saying, D, of course, your brother's gay, so you're not trying to double team anybody. But I mean, what's your comments about that? Like, could you double team a woman with your brother? Like, how do you high five your brother when you're doing the wobbly eight with some random chick or whatever?
Fucking weird.
Anyways, guys, I love you so much, and thank you for doing what you do, and peace out from fucking D's Poison T-shirt.
That was a good throwback.
Yeah.
Thank you to Adam from Tokyo. When I was in college, a couple guys, this is my freshman year, West Quad, Ann Arbor, Michigan. A couple guys lived down the hall. They're twins. I don't want to say their names, but they're twin brothers. They like share clothing and everything. But they not only would double team girls, and they've done it. They're actually, I mean, they were in some frat or something. They're kind of cool. I mean, whatever. Not only would they double team girls, kind of look like young Dolph Lundgrens.
Okay.
Young Dolph Lundgrens. But they also would switch off girlfriends. They're identical twins. Like, it was hard to tell them apart. And so when like one of them would start dating a girl, the other one would want to test her out.
Oh my God. That's kind of gross.
Yeah. I remember being like, dude, don't you guys have some kind of like weird moral quandary about that? Like, it's weird that you would be banging he's like, these are just girls we're fucking.
That's it. Well, yeah, but then you're then sticking your dick in it. So you're Eskimo bros, but you're also identical twins who are now Eskimo bros.
Eskimo bro rapists.
Yeah, there's something like very incestuous.
Something rapey about it, though.
Totally. I used to hang out.
Would you be upset though if you were you're dating one of the Dolph Lundgrens and the other brother banged you and you found out about it like a year later? Would you care?
It would be like such a weird thing because you're thinking it's someone else. So in a way, yeah, it's strange. Yeah, I'd be upset, but what
you would get mad about it? Like, but I mean, would you break up with him if you found out about it?
Oh, what if we were still together after a year? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like you're in a year, but I mean, your brother banged you at the beginning of the relationship, so he could test, give you a test drive.
Test out my pussy, so then they
just
could
a test drive.
Talk about my diamond level pussy together. Yeah, I'd be fucking angry. I would dump them, but then as I was dumping them, I'd be like, oh well, that was the best night of sex I've ever had, and it's always been downhill since then. Just to put that seed of doubt in the other brother's mind. I used to hang out with these two brothers. I was like 19 and he the one brother, Jimmy, he is like 18, and we were in a band together, which just means we used to hang out and get drunk and stoned. And he was gay, so we just had tons of fun. But he had an older brother who was away at uni called Paulie, and he used to come back every so often, and I would hook up with his brother sometimes. But what they used to do was they would kiss on the lips. And I mean kiss on the lips. They
The
would
two
have
brothers.
yeah, and Jimmy was gay, so it would be a bit like only I knew at this time as well that he was gay because I was the first person he ever told. So I was like, oh shit, this
With
is
tongue?
just a long lingering kiss. But they would do it in front of strangers in bars because people would be like, "Oh, you two are very friendly together. What's?" And they would just kiss each other. And it got to the point where somebody made a complaint about them, and it came out that they were brothers. And the fucking police and social services came around, so they had to stop doing it.
Were they just doing it just to like troll people? And
Kind
freak
of,
people
yeah.
out?
That was definitely the older brother. The older brother's like MO in life was to just troll people and to cause upset, no matter where he went. But
Did you think it was weird, or were you just like, whatever?
I thought it was weird because at the time I was the only person who knew that Jimmy was gay. So I was like, all right, I can see why like Paulie's doing it because he's a bit of a cunt, and it's like a cunty kind of thing to do. But for
Yeah,
Jimmy
but if he wasn't
kissing
gay,
his
you wouldn't think it
brother,
was weird.
I'd just be like, it's a cunty thing to do. Like it's like
It's a
Angelina
fucking weird.
Jolie
Yeah, it is kind
kissing
of just
her
a weird
brother.
thing.
It's fucking. It's like it's just. Ugh. But it's not like, it's not like they were banging each
Nauseating.
other. But because he's gay and he's kissing his brother,
How do you know
it's
they
like
were
an
banging?
extra. It's an extra level, isn't it? And then I got really drunk one night and I said I let slip that he was gay. I do feel bad about it in front of Paulie, and then it all came out in the family. And yeah, I kind of got ousted for being a friend.
Well, you
See,
outed him to his family.
I outed him accidentally, but I did it in a really nice way. But then they never talked to me ever again.
Wait, have you ever seen him on like Facebook or something?
No, but I don't seek them out. Like whatever it was.
Those guys
shit
totally blew each
happens.
other, guaranteed.
Do you reckon? And that's why the police came round.
Yeah, I guarantee they did. If they're making out, like they're making out. They're not just like giving each other a peck, which is still weird. That's weird, but they're like giving a long, lingering kiss. They're
Lingering.
making out. That's like, I don't know, 2 steps removed from like sticking their dicks in each other's mouths.
It's 2 steps removed from docking, which is what happens.
You could have been wobbly aged.
I could have been what?
You missed out on a great opportunity to get wobbly aged.
Is that when 2 brothers fuck you?
No, it's when 2 dudes fuck a woman and it forms like an H, a wobbly H. Get it? Like you're in the middle. You got like, do I have to explain this further, or are you getting
No,
this?
the graphics are very good.
Got my hands up, like making the
Yeah,
motion.
dude, I see now. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Anyway, Adam from Tokyo, always good to hear from you, man. Hope
Oh
you're
man,
doing-
he's a great guy.
yeah,
He's a great guy.
no, he's
I like it.
awesome. I was next time I go to Japan, totally hanging out with that guy again.
I'm going to Japan just to see Adam.
People call Sick Wrong Hotline 323-522-4032. We got a Reddit page. I'm sure you know because we talk about it every week, but it's a pretty cool page. There's a lot of weird memes. That guy Walden Scott. Did you make like a subreddit or something for him?
I made like user flair just for Reddit, just for Walden, because he's always
Oh,
making fire
okay.
memes and he's made a lot. So I did that and then I went through all his posts and I've put them all in that. So if you want to find Walden's memes, he's got his own post flair now. Well done, Walden.
I posted a link today to this change.org petition I
Oh,
made.
this.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I'm sitting there, sure, a little hungover, kind of high. And I saw that everybody's got this fucking boner to get LeVar Burton on Jeopardy as the next host. And so some guy made a change.org petition, and there's like hundreds of thousands of signatures. So I was like, fuck LeVar Burton. Let's get Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show. The microcephalic Rotundo from the Howard Stern show. Let's get him to host Jeopardy because I would watch that. I
You
would
see-
watch the fuck out of that show.
As a British person, as a European person, I thought the joke was that Beetlejuice is dead and that's why he should host Jeopardy because Jeopardy is dead. I didn't get this joke. It landed flat over this side of the pond.
I don't know. You're like taking it to another level. I was just like, I want a Rotundo to host a shitty game show.
I know you do. You just want a Rotundo, and it also helps that he's really short too. It's like your
Oh
two,
yeah,
your
and
two holy
with a tiny
grails.
head.
You love all
He's a
that. It's like,
dwarf with microcephaly.
it's your favorite
Hosting,
thing.
I would watch that show every day.
So mean.
It would be my favorite. Anyway, we got to get 100 signatures. So go click on the link at the Reddit page, r/Stick Around Podcast, no spaces. And let's get Beetlejuice to host fucking Jeopardy. Also, if you're a big fan of the show, if you like Sick and Wrong, you enjoy what we do, show us a little love because you'll get something in return. If you sign up for the Patreon, we're giving you all sorts of content. A lot of people are saying like it's almost more fun to listen to Patreon content, which I take personal offense to, but at the same time, it's fun. We have fun on the Patreon. It's kind of like, a little more relaxed.
I love the
You know?
Patreon.
Yeah, we get a little wacky. But for only $5 a month, you get a story, you get some phone calls. This week, we did an old call that came in that I forgot to play on the main show, but the WAD called in about how he stopped believing in Santa. And it's a pretty funny story about what made him stop believing in Santa. But we were talking about it. I don't know if it was in the outtakes or if it was during this call, but I had sent the WAD a brown dong, like dildo, from Adam and Eve because he sent a virgin story, like a virginity story. And Kate told me that he messaged you that he's giving the dong away.
Yeah, the what's gonna give it away.
Dude, give it to your wife. Like, why wouldn't you want? Do you think he's jealous of the size of the dong?
I think the wad is on testosterone at the minute, and he can fulfill his wife. His wife doesn't need no dong.
So
The best
why
part of
would
the
you
story
just
is
put
he said the dong looks exactly like his dong. It's just a different color.
Wad, why don't you take that dong and give it to your stepsister or whatever? Remember the fat stepsister that you lost your virginity to? She could probably use it.
She'd give it to his mother-in-law and say, "A little piece of me."
It'd be a memento because she remembers you
is.
fondly.
Yeah?
I think that's what you should do. Wait till like Christmaka or whatever, Hanukkah or something.
Yeah,
But I
that's
almost
the
employ
what
his calling it,
celebrate.
but it's just like he's getting rid of my fucking dong.
Are you upset
I guess I'm hurt.
that a guy that
I'm a
you
little
got
hurt.
something free and you sent it to somebody for free and now they're gifting it on and now you're upset about it? Is this
Well,
the Jew law?
I talk about this in the outtakes, but I went out to eat with my friend Jerry Blue, who it was his birthday, and we went out, and I gave him
Yeah.
the white dong, the white counterpart to the brown dong that I sent the wide. And Jerry Blue had a lot of fun with that dog in that
Yeah.
restaurant. Okay.
Happy birthday, Jerry. I saw the pictures. I've seen them. It's very lewd.
Anyway, $5 a month, you get all that. For a few bucks more, you get our Sick and Wrong news segment this week. I went really into the whole Ted Nugent
You go
testing positive
riled.
for coronavirus. I fucking can't stand that guy.
He triggers
Calling
you.
COVID a hoax. Ironically, he comes down with it.
The
Wish it would have been a little
coronavirus.
worse than what happened, but whatever. Also, we kind of talk about Morrissey's recent appearance on The Simpsons and his manager calling it a hurtful and racist parody. It's pretty hilarious. And Kate is doing a two-part bonus episode of Overkill about Francis Farmer.
Yeah, her story is crazy. I couldn't concise it down into like 40 minutes. So it's gonna have to be a two-part, guys.
It's a two-parter.
Don't ruin the story and like look at what happens to her because it is crazy.
All this and more. Patreon.com/sickandwrong. Also, T Public Store is having a big sale right now. If you go there, you can click on the picture of the Pope at sickandwrongpodcast.com/shop. Click on the Pope. You'll go to the T Public Store and you can buy right now, limited time only, for a sale, the Vart shirt that I made in the Dare logo. I actually
You
did it.
made it.
I made a Vart shirt. You can get a Vart shirt, or you can even get a Vart face mask if you feel so inclined.
You know, Vaginas
Art
really
shit.
are terrific, and we should celebrate them.
That's it. It's an acronym. Vaginas are really terrific. Just go to signalpodcast.com/shop and click on the picture of the Pope. Finally, here, Signal Song of the Week. I was gutted to find out about this. Gutted. Shock
Mate.
G, the front man of the hip hop group Digital Underground, died on Friday at the age of 57. Or Thursday, actually. He died Thursday. But I mean, just a legendary hip hop group, especially from my youth. Always admired that band. I got to see them live, actually, which is pretty amazing. In Marin, I tell that story in the outtakes, but went to a random show that they did in like 2000 at a tiny bar in Marin. No one showed up. It was really weird. Like no one showed up. I was so excited about tickets in advance. Go over there, and there may be like 15 people there in this whole fucking bar. And so they were kind of disappointed because they came out and they're just like, no one's here. Well, I guess we're gonna get high. And they just started rolling up blunts, and everybody was smoking weed, and they're doing like all these like improvisational versions of their songs. And he's like, what y'all want to hear? And people would yell out songs, and then someone's like, Humpty Dance. And he's like, we're not gonna play that shit. But they did at the end as an encore. They did Humpty Dance, but like a really weird version. It was a fucking great show. They're a very talented band. But Shock G, at the age of 57, was found dead Thursday in a hotel room in Tampa, Florida, according to his father. The cause of death at this moment is unclear, but there are no signs of trauma. The authorities are going to conduct an autopsy, but Digital Underground is probably best known for the 1990 hit, The Humpty Dance, which was one of my favorite songs. It was also the song, my go-to song for girls that did not tip me at the strip club. If you didn't tip me more than 3 times, you're going to get the Humpty Dance twice for both songs when you went up on stage. I was just going to rewind it and play the Humpty Dance twice for you until you tip me. But it's a fucking great, just a great band, very catchy song. Also, he had like a fake nose, like a big schnoz, and I had a big schnoz, so I identified with it.
Oh, bless you.
I'm sorry
for your loss.
Shock G, born Gregory Jacobs, had a rotating roster in that band. And in fact, a young Tupac Shakur was a backup dancer in 1987. That's where he started his career. They discovered Tupac.
This is why I like Biggie more, because Biggie wasn't dancing. He was shagging.
I prefer Biggie too, but I still think it's kind of cool that Tupac was a backup dancer for Digital Underground before he became like a gangsta rapper.
Yeah, Tupac.
The group's first album, Sex Packets, which is an amazing record, one of my favorites, had it on tape, had several underground hits, Humpty Dance being one of them. Tupac, if you ever see the video, is a backup dancer in the video of Humpty Dance. But we're going to play a different song here for that. One of my favorite songs, a song I used to play at the strip club on a daily basis, nightly basis, Freaks of the Industry. It's an iconic rap song from the LP Sex Packets. But what makes this song incredibly unique is it's the only rap song I can think of that has 2 multiple choice questions in the song.
Oh,
okay. Like Shock G is posing 2 questions for you as to what will you do in this specific situation. You're taxing it and waxing it and working it around till the booty starts making that clapping sound, which is cool, but your friends are chilling in the other room. The clapping's getting louder. You don't want them to clown you. So in this situation, what do? A, you plain and simply back up offer. B, you hit it just a little bit softer. C, you take it out and put it in her butt. Or D is what I do. So you'll listen up, and he explains what he does in that situation. Okay. But yeah, there's 2 multiple choice questions in that song, and it's very rare. I don't think it's ever been done in rap.
The Bloodhound Gang definitely have never done that.
Groundbreaking hip hop, Digital Underground, and Shock G, you will be missed. Rest in peace. We're going to end the show here with Freaks in the Industry to honor Shock G. People will be back next week with episode 789. Till then, take it sleazy. I mean, you've never heard that song?
No.
I'm trying to. I'm on a. Let me get the lyrics of the other multiple choice question. And God, I fucking love that band. They're so great. They were so great. Sound like Schlitzie. They're so good. Okay. You're lying on your back with your head on the edge of the bed. The booty is 2 feet from your head. Should you A, take the time to find a condom? B, you walk right over and you pound them? C, tell her that you want her love? Well, the answer is D, all of the above. Isn't that beautiful? It's profound.
Here is the bird murderer, the birderer, if you will.
It's a great song. Always like that band. Always like that band. People, do you guys know Digital Underground? I know you do. You must. You must.
Chit-chat.
Oh, Ash, you enjoyed my book, eh? You enjoyed my book. Look at Chi-Chi. Is Chi-Chi about to like record, a little bit of the show there?
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about Chi-Chi is that he has a soul patch.
Yeah, I love his soul patch.
He seriously, he has a soul patch.
Oh, he's a looking boy.
You know that I was telling you before we started recording about that blind cat that was a menace that was menacing all the other
Yeah.
cats. The blind cat looks like Chi-Chi. Not in a soul patch, but the same kind of coloration.
Oh, nice. Chi-Chi has brothers. Chi-Chi looks like one of Big Titty Goth detectives. She has a cat called Bane, and Chi-Chi and Bane could be like a crazy duo.
They could be
very
Eskimo
similar.
brothers.
They probably would be because they're both trouble. But for anyone wondering, so he has killed 5 baby birds in this week. No, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 babies, and then the other night he brought the mother. So I'm hoping that he's just got the nest now, and that's it. No more.
Jesus Christ. 5 baby
he
birds. He's a
has
murderer.
He has wiped out a bloodline. He's like
He's
on
a-
Game
Yeah.
of Thrones or something.
He's like a bird destroyer, killing all the Lannisters.
He's a birderer. He's a
God,
murderer.
murderer. Fucker.
He is a little
Jesus. All right, people. It's been fun hanging out. I think, is this going to be our last live stream for a bit? Because
Yeah,
Kate's.
I'm having like not trouble at work. I'm doing loads of like different random shits. I'm doing loads of
Shits?
random shits.
Kate's
at
been
work.
shitting at her work all the time. and
Actually, I've never once ever shit at work, and I never will.
what? How do you go? How do you go a whole?
You can train your
shift
body
without-
when you need to go to the fucking bathroom or not, and I will not shit at work. It's disgusting. I have control over my body. I don't need to go for shit at work. But
See, in my corporate environment, I love the work shit because I can just
'cause you're
like get
getting
away from all
paid.
the. Yeah, but I can also get away from all the people. It's like Al
Thanks,
Bundy. I'm just
Gino.
like in my sanctuary. I'm in there. There's no one
But do
fucking
you not
with
worry
me.
that other people are gonna walk in and like then they're gonna smell your shit and they're just gonna
I don't
be
even.
like,
When I'm like in the stall, like it's my performance. That's my time to shine. I'll be like making noises. I'll be like, "Urgh," like grunting. And they don't know who I am. They can't see me.
Ash, we're gonna try and live stream. It's just that I'm doing some maternity cover at work, so I'm doing like when we'd usually record this now, I like will be doing a lot more shifts.
Just getting
So-
overtime.
I'm getting overtime in. It's like for a favor, but it's not gonna last forever, and we're gonna try and do some live streams in that time. So it just be
It's tough for me too because I work Monday through Friday.
yeah, our
But I
schedules will
work in the
clash.
morning. Yeah, I work in the morning. Like, so I can do it right now because we could do it all night. But if Kate has to work on Saturday, then I don't know when we can do it during the week. So we're
Yeah.
gonna try because I have fun doing this. It's fun hanging out.
Yeah, I like doing the live stream too, and it
Yeah.
not forever, and we will come back.
I kind of feel like it's like the English Breakfast Club or something.
It is the English Breakfast Club, and like we're still gonna do the podcast. We're just
Oh yeah, no, the show's gonna come
nothing's
out. It's just not gonna
changing.
be. It's not
It's
gonna be
just
live streamed.
for a little while, but it will come back. So no fretting, guys. But like talk to us on Facebook and all that. I'll talk
Or
to you all
Discord.
on,
We'll
on
probably mention
Discord
it
and
Discord.
yeah.
Yeah.
and on
I mean,
Facebook.
that's the thing. It's like, well, a lot of people do watch the live stream. I mean, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like doing it too. It is fun.
Good times. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your weekend and
Yeah.
enjoy
Have
your
good
day.
Sundays.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.